I'm doing pretty good. I think there's typically a slight delay on Discord, but
Oh,
there's probably a little bit more since I am, here in Cuba. But I'm having some fun, man. And ready to talk some video games, ready to talk some Smash, ready just to have fun, man. It's been too long. 7 days is
nice.
too long.
Well, I'm actually going to roll back that intro because I think I was muted for it. Yes, this is Wide World of Electronic Sports, episode 133. Sorry for the muted intro. I am running the show today, not my usual thing. Apologies if the show technically is a little glitchy. My computer is barely hanging on, but we're going to do it. We're going to get it done, and we're going to talk a full week of esports, aren't we, Rod?
We most certainly are, man. And just to retouch on that again, man, having a really great time as always. I'm here in Cuba right now, just wrapped up with some Smash action. I know we'll get to talking about that in a little bit. But yeah, 7 days is just too long, man. I miss you guys. I'm ready to jump back into it.
Nice. Yeah, we would normally be joined by DennyVonDoom. His internet is unfortunately out. So Godspeed to your internet, DVD. We hope to have you back soon. Let's get into it, though. We have quite a bit to talk about. But first up, let's talk a little bit about my favorite award show, the Esports Awards. Oh, that's not muted. See, told you, it's going to be a little rough here. Yes, the Esports Awards have arrived. They've been announced for this year, coming December 13th in Las Vegas at Resorts World in Las Vegas. Big resort. I don't think the last time I was in Vegas that was done being built or whatever, because I don't think I've ever seen this one. It's huge, though. It's a really nice resort. I mean, according to this video and everything, it looks pretty cool. And obviously, Vegas is the spot to have your award show if you're going to do it big. The Esports Awards seem like they're getting a little bit more legit year after year. What do you think, Rod?
I have to agree with that 100%. I've always felt like, and this is no shot or no dig at the Esports Awards, but I've always felt like they played kind of second fiddle to the Game Awards, which, respectfully so. I mean, the Game Awards are fucking huge, but esports up until a certain point kind of just feel like this small little bubble that we've been living in. And I think with events like the Esports Awards, we're going to burst out of that, man. I had a chance to peek at the trailer. Those are two people that I'm actually a really big fan of, Veli and Golden Boy. So big shout out to them, of course, for taking charge on being kind of the talent for that video. And yeah, the panels are only getting more diverse. What I'm saying? Like the awards are only getting more specific. Before it was just like esports player of the year, esports coach of the year. Now I see that the categories have kind of broke down, excuse me, a little bit more. Giving everybody a chance, no matter which role you play in esports to win something. Or if not win something, at least be nominated. I know that is certainly a big accomplishment as well. I've never been nominated for anything, and I've been in esports a long time. You've been in gaming for a very long time too. It's time for us to get some awards, right, Bryan?
You think so? Wide World of Esports, Wide World of Electronic Sports, this show here definitely deserves an award of some kind. I mean, it's got to be one of the longest running dedicated esports news programs on the internet by now. You'd think so. But no, for real, the Esports Awards, yeah, I feel like, to reiterate on your point, I feel like they are not only arriving in Las Vegas, not only arriving at Resorts Worlds, but yeah, arriving into their own a little bit, becoming a little bit more legitimate. I mean, last year I kind of clowned on it, a little, and the year before that I clowned on it a lot. But obviously, as you do these things over and over, you keep going. Each year you kind of legitimize yourself a little bit more. Each year you highlight, they highlight, like you were saying, more and more just not esports figures, but content creators and influencers. They really do break down their categories to really well, just to make sure that everybody gets their flowers and gets their spot in the spotlight. Yeah, I think the Esports Awards are definitely going to be something to look out for this year. I think I'm going to watch it for sure. But who do you think might take some of these awards? I mean, obviously it's early, right? We're only halfway through this year. But if you could give out any esport awards right now, what would you be giving out, Rod?
Yeah. This is a really tough one, man, because some of the things I look for in esports are not some of the traditional things that other people look for in esports. I know we've talked about this on multiple episodes, like some of the things that like kind of jump universes, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the ways that esports can kind of dip into new pieces of content is some of the things I really, draw myself towards here in this industry. I guess, first and foremost, obviously content creator of the year, that one would be really difficult to pinpoint because between literally all the games out there, there's so many content creators and there's so many that really, specifically categorize themselves as esports only. They don't do the variety thing. They don't do like the IRL funny stuff. They just only stream, what they're competitively being paid to do. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's that. There's I mean, damn, if I could make up my own award, I don't even know what to categorize this, but something to the effect of like what Aaron Ashley Simon does, where she kind of takes esports and pushes it into new horizons. I don't really know anybody else doing it quite like her, but if there was an award for that, she would certainly get it. I'm also looking for like most fashionable person in the
Most
esports
fashionable.
industry.
There you go. You're a shoe-in for that, Rod. You know that, right?
You think that, and maybe, and thank you, but I got to get some Shacknews gear before I can really throw my hat in the ring first. But all jokes aside, there's a lot of people that I think are very fashionably inclined in the community. Of course, Aaron Ashley Simon, Shady as well. I believe it's Shady G is what his tag is. Of course, Veli. What I'm saying? I mean, those are just three names that really come to mind, but there's so many. But, again, that's kind of the beauty of esports. We talked about it last year, that esports is no longer just about gaming. It's no longer just about, pressing buttons. It's a lifestyle for some people. Kind of like how people eat, breathe, and sleep sports. We have esports kind of dipping its way into like middle schools. With that being said, of course, coaches are going to start looking at some of these younger players a little bit earlier on, and then trying to get them to play for better teams in the future. I mean, we see it in regular sports. We're going to see it in here. There's a lot of holistic things I know we've talked about in the past too. Lifestyle changes and choices, food, beef jerky, energy drinks. So it's really tough for me to pinpoint, but hell, I'm just happy that esports has a place in Vegas because if you look at just kind of our track record in Vegas, it's actually pretty good. Not even just with fighting games, just esports in general. Evo, of course, I know is held there. We got a HyperX esports arena, which is amazing. And now we have an esports awards ceremony held in Las Vegas. I'll be real, man. I would go just for the vibes and the drinks, dude. Like I don't even like I could care less who wins. I'm just going for the vibes at that point in Vegas.
I feel you. Yeah. You're mentioning that Las Vegas is kind of a hub for esports, and you're right. Las Vegas is one of the only places I know of where you can participate in Mario Kart 8 esports. They have like 4 money tournaments all the time there at one of their esports venues. Which I think is really awesome. I wish there was more Mario Kart esports out there. But yeah, going back to this, real quick before we move off, with the Esports Awards becoming more legitimized and I guess becoming the Oscars of esports, do you think there's room for like the Razzies of esports? Should we start doing that? Giving out the opposite, just the worst of the worst for at the end of each year. I think Halo Infinite is it might be getting one.
You know what? I could maybe see that. We do obviously Shacknews, and we do a lot of like really cool and innovative things. Between the stimulus games, and of course we got an E6 here coming up shortly. We got Shacknews, and maybe the Whack News Award.
The Whack News Award. I love it.
Yeah, I could be down for that. And of course it'd be in all good fun, unless like you did something absolutely just heinous and despicable. Then we wouldn't touch on it. But like streamer flubs or you got banned on Twitch or I don't know. I mean something, worst team records, what I'm saying, worst losing streaks, whatever. I kind of like the way you're thinking, Bryan. This might be something we need to talk about in the next meeting.
Yeah, there's room to move on this. There's definitely a lot of leg room for it. Yeah. I think that's enough for the Esports Awards, though. We've talked quite a bit about it, and really, what else more can we say? That's pretty much it. Esports Awards coming back at the end of this year, so we're going to be talking about it more, obviously, when it gets closer to mid-December, and they announce all of their nominees, and we can go over that and everything, and we'll be going over the winners. So stay tuned for more of that, but that'll be at the end of the year. Let's get into the rest of the news, though, shall we?
Let's do it, man.
We got to talk Smash. I mean, I know...
Oh, man.
I know we have to talk Smash, and I know specifically you need to talk Smash, Rod. So I'm just going to let you go ahead and take this next segment about Ultimate Tropical Arena because, of course, you're the one. You're the man. You're there. Take it away, Rod.
I'm there, man. Well, and I'm actually glad we're touching on this. I'm happy we touch on anything Smash related. Again, Smash, Melee specifically, greatest esports on the planet. There's no arguing that. But obviously we're talking about Ultimate here. And here I am in Cuba, and I gotta say, I've been to a lot of places for Smash. I've been to Australia, Sweden, everywhere. But I was like, this is probably culturally the most different, the furthest I felt away from home ever. And it makes sense, Australia, there's parts that feel like America in there. Sweden, there's places that feel like America in there, but this is very different, and I love it. The people here, very, very nice. I mean, dude, obviously we're from America. We've been to a lot of events. We've seen, professional esports players do their thing. We've seen happy audiences. We've seen angry audiences, sad audiences. And what's funny here is that these people, they don't even give a damn. They're just happy that people came. Like, they couldn't care less if MKLeo or Chag or E King, three very strong players who were there, by the way. Of course, Chag, MKLeo, some of the best players in the world. E King, #1 player in Puerto Rico. I mean, dude, I got in right when I landed. The TO, his name is Giovanni. Big thank you to him, and of course his team. It wasn't just a him thing; it was a joint effort. But big thank you to him for all the hospitality. I mean, there's not very many organizers that will put a commentator in a room for almost a week. That's a lot of money, and he was just so helpful. He wouldn't let me buy anything either. And trust me, Bryan, like I tried to fight him about it. Like, dude, I got American money. I can buy things. He's like, no, it's on me. Don't worry. So, I mean, it's just that type of thinking towards the community that builds events like Ultimate Tropical Arena. He said that he had the idea to do this sometime around last year. Really big for a small community like this. Not the biggest bracket in the world. Traditionally, you and I were used to covering brackets that exceed far past that 100, 200 mark. This one was a little bit more personalized. The venue was smaller, more personalized experience. It was about 70 people. But you know what, though? This is one of those experiences where less is more. The mic that I'm using to talk to you right now is the mic that we use to commentate, which if you watch any esport, like I know you do, people at home love being able to hear the audience just lose their mind. It was myself. I'm trying to commentate. I'm sitting next to a good friend of mine. His name is Lord Zed. He was a really fun time, very great commentator. We had a lot of fun just trying to figure out the translation between both of us. But at the end of the day, both of us speak Smash. And it's just one of those things I feel like just culturally brought everybody together. When we got there, there was a sea of people, Bryan, and I wish I could. This was the car, and there was security there, and I'm not like, I got a little shirt on, I got a, like big guys in a shirt like this, what I'm saying, like black hat, black pants, very big gentleman there to walk us in because this sea of people taking pictures and swarming Leo and Chag and E King,
wow,
just ridiculous. Yeah, it was crazy, man. The tournament went great, ran very well. They had to get it all done before 6 p.m. I think they got it done a little bit before. So big thank you to the TO team. And of course, a big shout out to VG Bootcamp. I think, again, this touches back on my point from last week that as much as I give everybody their flowers, VG Bootcamp has been so good for so long that I forget how big of a deal this is. The internet restrictions here, they're very much what you think they are. I had a very difficult time even getting into the country. A lot of paperwork, a lot of COVID tests, a lot of all of that. But you know what, though? It was all worth it at the end of the day. These people here are so lovely, man. And hopefully, us at Shacknews, we can meet some of these people one day because all they care about is just being around people who play games. They don't even care about the tournament. They don't care about anything. They just want to be around more people. And I love that.
That is so amazing to hear.
Sorry. And by the way, not to cut you off, Leo and Chag did play. I forgot there was a whole tournament. They played.
No, I was about to get into the actual Smash itself. Yeah. No, but you talking about just the vibe of the tournament, the reception that you had, the hospitality that you received, just the overall warmth and welcoming for International Smash over there in Cuba. That's just really awesome to hear about. Like that's just fucking awesome. Yeah, I love to see that. So yeah, bringing Smash Ultimate to Cuba is big. It's a big deal for sure. Yeah, there was actually Smash that happened though. There were matches. So Chag takes the win. So he won in Qatar, right? Like, is Chag the master at these like odd location Smash tournaments? Does he have an edge somehow at these weird locales?
He might, and I look at a lot of these young players like, look, if you got the resilience and the stamina to fly from time zone to time zone, because it's one thing to fly from San Jose to New York.
Yeah.
It's a different thing to fly from, Mexico to Qatar.
Yeah.
But, if you have that,
it's halfway around the world.
Explore it. Yeah, seriously, it's definitely halfway around the world. But I think there was one thing to note. Leia was trying out a new character, and this is not to John for Leo, and this isn't to
Oh
take
no, we're
anything away from
definitely
Chad.
that was my next topic to get into, was the big character reveal from Leo.
That's right. Yeah. So he busted out the Rob this weekend, and the Rob was no slouch. As you know, none of his characters are. I know. I don't. I look. I don't know where it came from, but he said, the character's strong. He wants to bring the Joker back out too. I don't know if I was supposed to tell people that, but he's been working on the Joker. He said Joker's coming back, but he's going to try to use tournaments of this size to try to work some of his old characters around. And I think that's really cool for somebody like himself. He's favoring a lot of the international events over, the stateside events. Next weekend, he'll be in Portugal. Now, that term is not on the World Tour, but he's not going to Combo Breaker and Momocon, notoriously the two biggest tournaments that day. And he's choosing to go to Portugal with Glutony, TK, and Coney. So big shout out to them for that. But I think he's trying to use his presence more than anything else to highlight new areas of the world, which I love. The Rob came out. The Rob was great. It makes for great storytelling. But, like most stories, they got to come to an end sooner or later. And Chag did just that. He put the Rob to bed. It wasn't easy, but he got it done.
Yeah, so Leo wasn't able to pull off the grand finals with Rob, as we know, as we've talked about, Chag winning with Palutena. But how exciting is that for Leo? Like, is he like this new king of pocket characters? I mean, how deep are these pockets? Like, how many pockets you got, Leo?
It's just, so before, the running joke was if they have a sword in their hand, he's probably going to play. So we know about the Leo Marth. We know about the Corin. We know about the Byleth, of course. We know about the Joker. Joker has something sharp. It's not a sword, but it's still sharp. And then, of course, when Ultimate kicked off, he had probably the best Ike in the world. But I think he was using Rob for some of those matchups. I think kind of get under his skin a little bit. I know he mentioned that he still has a min problem. Most players at his level do, and a handful of other individuals. So I completely get it. If you're the best player in the world and you have the ability to pick up other characters for bad matchups in a game where there's almost 100 characters, Bryan, fuck it, do it, man. And he did it to Chag too, which is no easy feat, because Chag, I don't want anybody to to get it twisted. They might see his results in states and think, well, blah blah blah. No, Chag is top 10 in the world more than likely, and he is not to be taken lightly on the sticks.
Top 10 in the world. Wow, that's a very strong assessment.
Yeah, he's probably top 10, and his Palutena is probably best in the business.
Yeah, and Palutena is a great character. I mean, a lot of great matchups for Palutena. Just great range, great utility. I mean, I can see why you would go far with her. But it's just, do you think Leo might have pulled this out if he had switched off of Rob onto someone he was more familiar with for the last match of Grand Finals?
Yeah, I think he probably would have pulled it off. And it really just all kind of circles back to him just wanting to try, him using his presence to, to highlight smaller regions of the world, which I think is something that the Smash World Tour is doing a great job at. But him just being there is a completely different experience. And I think he's using these small brackets as a chance to try some new characters out. What better way to learn than, to play against other people. And chances are, no matter what region of the world Leo goes into, he's probably going to be the strongest player in the room. Not even just statistically, obviously, because he is the best player, but also just that day. But I still think that Cuba put up a really good fight. Some of their strongest players, Cuba's a very spread out region, so they travel far and wide. They take boats, they take, long taxis to get to each other, and they really mean it, when they get together and they play. But, it's still Chag, and it's still Leo, and it's still E-King as well, too. Top 5 Pac-Man in the world. I don't want to forget about him. Senji, T, Midi, and Kiwi, not in that exact order, but Puerto Rico showed up in full effect in the chat to support him. I had a really nice heart-to-heart with E-King just last night before he left, and very, very nice man, and I hope to see more of him as well. Excellent.
Yeah, that is just fantastic. I really hope you're able to go to an Ultimate Tropical Arena 2 or whatever, now that this is, kind of an established thing. I hope that maybe it could even, get a spot in the Smash World Tour, become an event. Army of Techno saying that the crowd went off whenever anyone took a stock off of Leo. Yeah, I'm sure the crowd was just wild. I don't know if you were here, Asif, but yeah, Rodney, you were talking about how the crowd was just going nuts for the international players as they arrived and everything. So yeah, I mean, can you describe just how the local, just how the local crowd experience was during the matches?
Yeah, so again, very, very humble region, very just uh thankful to be in the room when things are happening type of region. And we see that more notably from regions, the further you get away from North America, that's typically where you see this type of behavior. And they were just very, very happy to just see Leo, let alone be in the same room with them. I would imagine when most famous people come, they're very secluded, very very just disassociated from, everybody else. But Leo and Chag and E King, they decided to mingle, be out and about, talk with people. And I could just see the look on some of these people's faces, even some of the like the kids, like, oh my God, like you're MK Leo. And Leo was just like, I guess I am. But to the point about the audience, yeah, not even just when Leo lost a stock. I mean, when anybody took a stock or when anything happened, they just cheered because again, they're just happy and thankful to have something like this. They've barely ever have tournaments, let alone of this size. And yeah, I'm so glad, looking back on it, that I brought this mic because originally the organizers were telling the crowd, don't cheer. The audience is very close to the stage. Don't do that. And so I asked Leo and Chag and E King. I was like, hey guys, they don't get to see you guys ever really. Like some of these people might never come to the States or might never see you guys again. Do you care if they cheer? I mean, I know this is still your money and your livelihood on the line, but I mean, don't you let's leave a lasting experience for some of these people. And they were like, yeah, we don't really care if they cheer. The tournament's small, have at it. And when the TO said it's good to cheer, Bryan and Asif, I know you guys heard it, they were cheering.
Yeah. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, this is just, like I said, this is just a really cool tournament. Very great idea. And very great to see some representation, out of Cuba. Not really a region you see in Smash very often, but yeah, like I said, hopefully we'll see more of this. Here's to an Ultimate Tropical Arena 2, and congrats to everybody there at the. Congrats to you, Rod, for being part of the production. Congrats to everybody, the TOs and all the players, all the spectators, for just pulling off a really cool event.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. It was an experience. It's an absolute honor. I'm gonna be real, not to harp on this too much, but I always feel a sense of sadness or a sense of like melancholy sometimes when like people are just overly nice to me because I know that they have not, experienced things like this before. And for me, I'm just ragtag Rod that, does this thing. I go to work, I travel, but to them, this was so much more. And, they wouldn't let us buy anything. They wouldn't let us spend any of our own money. And I'm just like, this makes me, I mean, I'm happy that I'm here, but I'm sad, that, you guys are spending so much on this. Like, I want to be able to give back somehow. So I think, the best way to do it, obviously, is to talk about it here on Shacknews and just spread the word, like you mentioned, and just let the world know that there are sub-regions for Smash that whether if Leo or Chag or anybody, myself, or whether we go to or not, they need just as much love and attention and support as Evo, as, MomoCon or whatever. Because that's what the World Tour is here for. It's more so to highlight smaller regions than it is what we have here in the States.
Absolutely, very well said. Couldn't have said it any better myself. And yeah, thanks to VG Bootcamp for hosting this event and broadcasting it to the world so that we could show it to you here on Wide World of Esports. But Ultimate Tropical Arena was not the only Smash Ultimate, or not the only Smash tournament going off in that region, in the Latin America region. No, the arguably strongest country in Smash right now, Mexico, they had their own tournament, and I heard it was also pretty wild. It looks like there was a invitational in Mexico. Meister was talking about it on Twitter, and it looks like there's quite a shakeup for the character roster, like for the characters that got first, second, and third, because it's official. Kirby is not trash. Kirby, breaking news. Yes, according to the standings at this regional in Mexico at Wizards Fest. So Wizards Fest 2022 took place over this past weekend. They had a Smash Ultimate tournament, And yeah, I'll get the standings transferred over right here so you guys can see them. So you can see what I'm looking at here. Number one, SkyJ takes it with Incineroar. So an Incineroar won the tournament. A Snake got second, and then Kirby gets third. What do you think? What do you have to say about this top three out of Mexico, which we all know, Rod, is an insanely strong region?
Yeah, I think this just proves the fact that they are probably the strongest region in the world, or if not, at least top two, no worse than three. Um, yeah, every so often we see a strong region like this really break out the character variety. I can see how SkyJ, of course, won this. I mean, he's known for that Incineroar gameplay everywhere in the world. Second place being a Snake. Just again, to not to tangent too much, but to see Snake versus Incineroar, I can see a lot of what Snake wants to do to Incineroar using his revenge. And then once he uses his revenge, of course, he's a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
Snake has to throw grenades, though. If I don't throw grenades, I don't win this. So it's like, it's a weird give and take in that matchup. I still think Snake is the better of the two characters, but Incineroar, piloted by SkyJ, is a very dangerous combination because I'm a firm believer that it's not about the character, it's about the person piloting them more times than not. But of course, I think the biggest thing to take away is, of course, that third place.
Guilhu, yeah.
Is how that's pronounced.
Yeah,
Guilhu. Coming through with the Kirby gameplay. So yeah, I know Boss Man I think he's in the chat watching right now with our other boss, Lola the Pomeranian.
Yeah, he's saying placing third with Kirby in Ultimate is impossible. It is damn near impossible. And I mean, you have to agree with him, right? Because this is not a standing you normally see a Kirby in. Do you think there is yet to a meta yet to be found for Kirby? I mean, I think maybe that's true for any character.
Well, sure. And I've always felt like Kirby had really good normals. Kirby is very lacking, and just like the pie chart of a character that is needed to perform at top level consistently. Kirby, of course, is lacking, but the things that Kirby are good at, he's definitely good at. And of course, I won't name any names, but I remember watching a player that's no longer with us in this community a couple of CEOs ago, just running a gauntlet with Kirby. I mean, there's at least 10 people in this room in rotation for friendlies, and he's just whooping everybody's ass. And I was just like, if this character ever ended up in the wrong hands, this is going to be some very dangerous shit. And I mean, and look at players like Base Mage, rocking Jigglypuff. Of course, I know a slightly different character, but still playing a character at top professional level at the Smash World Tour in a way that we didn't think was possible. And this is not the first Kirby to make a splash on the scene. This might be the first Kirby in a long time to do it in a strong region like Mexico. But in Frostbite 2017 or 18, God, there's a Kirby from Ohio, and I forget his name. He's escaped me. He may have graduated from college by now, but he played against. There's a lot of players who are no longer with us, but another player who's very good that's no longer with us, and he beat him pretty good with Kirby as well. So every so often, every so many blue moons, a Kirby rolls through and really wrecks house. So honestly, Brian, we could see more of this character. I mean, think about it. Kirby, some of his special attacks when he absorbs other characters. Some of those special capabilities that he takes from you are maybe better than the actual character who has the special capability. Like I know one that comes to mind is Kirby and Shulk. Kirby and Shulk is a very, very scary combination. His Monado art's slightly better than Shulk. So Kirby has a place in the meta. Hopefully this means we can see more people pick up the character. Maybe this means Asif might get in there too. Who knows?
Yeah, Asif is saying that the ramen buff was legit. When Min Min came out, Kirby received a pretty good buff with those patches that followed. And yeah, Kirby has decent grabs. He is, yes, it's just his recovery is so predictable and so slow that, it is kind of tough to, get back onto the stage with Kirby and not get punished for it. It's just, it's kind of like you just have to know how to play the character, just like Puff, just like any of the floaties. But yeah, it's cool to see Kirby in a third place spot. This entire top 13 or top 20, right here, this run of winners bracket, players. I mean, it's just really, really diverse. I mean, I don't think there's one repeat on here. None.
And you know what? Yeah, and I think that's a really good thing too. We need to see sometimes a bit of a break from the norm, and that's why, like, not to rewind on Leo, but him playing Rob sure, Rob is still a character that we've seen, forever, but it's just nice to see him play something else besides Byleth. Not to say that he needs to switch because he keeps winning. I mean, as we know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I think in a game like Ultimate, just in its sheer design and its DNA, there's so many different, unique, and diverse characters. Why not play some of the other ones? And I think for this tournament here, Incineroar, Snake, Kirby, a Peach. We don't even get to see a lot of Peaches anymore. We just see New Days at Low Tide City, and then before that, nothing. DK.
Peach got fourth place, which is also a great placing. I mean, any top 8 is a great placing. So, yeah, congrats to Leaf for bringing Peach back. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You got a Terry up there, you got, a lot of solid representation across the board for Smash characters.
Yeah, no doubt about that, man. I love to see that. It's kind of like what we used to see, and I know I've been very firm on my stance on how the community views Japan, but I think one cool thing that Japan had that we didn't was character variety for so long, and they play the game much differently on average than the average American player. So when we play, they do things, they use characters, they use new techniques and strats, that we don't use, and we're starting to see that a little bit more here in Mexico. And honestly, I'm here for it, dude. Like, give me some more of that Peach. Bring her back. I don't want people to forget about her. Bring that Terry out. Bring it all out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm totally with you. I want to see it as well. It's really cool to see, like this embrace of character variety out of us. Such a strong region. I really think the Central America, Latin America, South America, whatever, however you want to group it together, that region is just really breaking out in Smash Ultimate right now, and they're becoming such a force to be reckoned. I mean, I don't know if we're going to see another region, challenge them for those top spots anytime soon. What do you think?
I think the only reason I could even come close to making all of America would have to team up, obviously, versus Mexico for it to feel fair. And of course, with that being said, Leo and Spargo and Chag would be playing for Team Mexico, like in order to even remotely come close to the talent this region has. But of course, America, no slouch. Japan is definitely no slouch either. So it's really tough. But again, this is all more the incentive to go to Double Down. They're doing crew battles for a lot of the strongest regions in the world. I don't know who is going to statistically play for who yet, but I'm sure it'll just make for better storytelling. And you know how much us filthy grassroots gamers love a good storyline, man.
Yeah, Light absolutely could, challenge some of these top players. We honestly, we have talent that, on their best day can take a set off of Spargo, can take a set off of Leo. Like it's not like we don't. It's not like the U.S. doesn't have people that can do that. Same with Japan. Same with any region, really. Same with Europe. Europe has very strong players all across that region. It's just the consistency. I just feel like Spargo and Leo are just appearing in grand finals just more consistently right now than in any other set of players. And obviously, both of them are from that region.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we have and again, this is depending on like how big and how broad, we talk about the crew battle. Like, it's like Mexico versus like, I guess the rest of North America. I mean, like, what is it? But I think, more than not, we have Light, we have Tweak, we have Cola, what I'm saying? Like, I don't know exactly where, or in ESAM as well, too. So I don't know exactly where Tweak sits in the top 10 anymore. We have Larry Lair, and nobody's living quite like Larry. And you know what, though, Brian? This actually brings me up to another good point here, not to tangent too much, but with there being no PGR this season, I've always talked about how how good the PGR is, for the community, but how maybe the community sometimes can really pinpoint who's first, second, and third in the world. I mean, look at Street Fighter and Tekken. We don't really need a ranking system to know like this person is the best, that person is the best. I think even looking at like how great Spargo has done, like, you start to place top 2, 3 at the next like 5 tournaments in a row, you're probably the second or third best player in the world. And of course, with that in mind, the opposite end of that argument is, there's just no doubt in my mind that Tweak has fallen down maybe to 10, maybe outside of 10, not sure. But yeah, it's just good to see kind of like the players.
Tweak.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe falling off a little bit. I'm sure he'll pick back up here pretty soon. We are in the spring/summer of Smash. There's going to be tournaments all the time. But yeah, we could definitely put up a good fight. I still think, any team that has like a Leo and a Chag and a Spargo, like a big boss, it's going to be very tough for the other side. But if America and Canada, or maybe even just America themselves, can team up, Light, Cola, Larry, Esam, Tweak. If we pinpoint over to Canada, we have Riddles, we have Super
Riddles is really good.
like that. We might be able to stand a chance. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Shacknews global rankings definitely need to happen. I would love to see that. Shacknews global rankings would be pretty hot. It would take some work, but it's something worth looking into. We'll think about it. It is something that I think we've posited before as well. I think we've thought about that. But yes, DeBuzz for sure, one of the greats that we have here.
Oh yeah.
So like I said, we have the talent, we have the players, but right now we just need someone who gets that consistency to just keep seeing these guys in grand finals, so that we can keep getting these great up and coming rivalry stories. Yeah, it's going to happen. And like you said, Double Down is really going to be interesting to see with the international crew battle that they're trying to set up. Head over to Gimmer's Twitter and all of that for more information about that Double Down international crew battle, because I believe they're looking for some help getting that going. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing that, and you're interested in seeing some crazy region-based crew battles for the stakes of your national pride, definitely go and check that out and see if that's something you'd be willing to help out with. But I feel like we can move on. I feel like we need to move on and get into our next story. Oh, see, I'm giving away the sauce here. Let's move on to our next story, though. Yeah, we got to get into our other platform fighter that we talk about pretty much all the time, right? Like, we talk about this platform fighter quite a bit now because it's shaking things up and it's looking amazing. It is, of course, none other than Multiversus. And yeah, I mean, Multiversus is just so hot right now, right? That Multiversus, it's so hot. Everybody's talking about it. Not everybody's playing it, however, but some people have, and I'm pretty sure that NDA is over, right? So the people who have played it can talk about it. And Rodney, I think one of those people is you, isn't it?
It is I, man. And you know what? It's taken a lot of me to not talk about this, but of course, just out of sheer respect for where I work and just everything great that Shacknews has built, I had to keep my lips shut. But I've had it, I've played it, I've had it for quite some time. I'm actually an idiot. I downloaded it on PlayStation, completely spaced, and I'm into Cuba, and I should probably have put it on the laptop. But that's neither here. Just watching, of course, still gives me that thrill of playing. So, but yeah, we had a lot of multiverse action here this last weekend, and it gave me, and it still is giving, excuse me, the some of that who's next feeling that I think only crossovers can really do. We see it with like Kingdom Hearts, we see it with like Avengers films, like, oh my God, who's coming? What's next? Like, what's the next thing? And of course, there's a trailer. I wrote an article about that, man. So I'm sure a lot of people were able to give that a read. Love the trailer, love the Iron Giant, love the Superman, love everything. Here we are, though. Everybody had a chance to play it, and I think Multiversus actually did a pro player exhibition, which was amazing. Big shout out to Ajax and to Purple Sharpie, of course, for commentating that, man. Two homies right there. Yeah, I mean, we got to see Lord Knight, MVD, ESAM, and Light, head over and play the game. And honestly, the multiverse action player base just doesn't even stop there. We even had a chance to see like FGC people say,
oh no, Robot Rob. Rod the robot.
Right now. Am I back?
Hold on, I think you are on audio. I don't think we have video.
Here we go.
But yes, to reiterate your point, yeah, we got to see a lot of not just platform fighting professional talent, but FGC talent as well, playing Multiversus. And yeah, it's really cool to see not only platform fighter players, but traditional FGC fighters. I think Rod's trying to come back. This Cuba internet is not quite so hot. I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me at least?
Yeah. So we might have to go with the voice of Rodney Conyers Jr., but that's okay.
It's brought people together in a way that I don't think I've seen in quite some time. I think the togetherness we've seen was probably Dragon Ball Fighters. That brought a lot of people over. But I think with the platform fighter, just the sheer nature of the game's making, it breeds multiple people playing, get together, play. Let's cause some chaos. It's not a one-on-one thing, and there is a one-on-one mode, but the beauty of the game really lies in the 2v2 format. And to see some of our Smash legends come over to Multiversus and support it, open arms, is a very great thing to see and just to watch, man. I was so happy, man. I was like, yo, the developers are listening. They want to see what the community has to offer. They're talking. We are talking back. Tony Huynh, I'm saying, the guy in charge of that whole thing, is constantly on Twitter asking questions. How can I make this better? What do I need to love the characters too. To see Superman fight against Cat Dog, fight against Velma. I mean, I grew up with these characters in a very different way than like the Smash counterpart. But I think some of the most recognizable intellectual properties on the planet, and what better way to have them cross over than in a video game? I'm sure they probably thought of doing like.
Ooh. I think I lost. Oh, there he's back.
Oh, I said a whole lot. Did you not hear any of that?
I said no. I got quite a bit of it, but it's just not. It's sometimes going out, and unfortunately, it's just a little hard to follow sometimes. But I did get the gist of what you were trying to say there, Rod. And yeah, the community feedback has been really great. I feel like they are definitely doing the most they can. There he is, looking great. Yeah, good to see you again, Rod. Yeah, I was just reiterating your point about how it's really refreshing to see the devs being very into community feedback, being into trying to improve the game, obviously. But it just looks like it's in a great place already from what we've seen.
Yeah, it's in a really awesome place right now. The game looks amazing, very beautiful, of course. We talk about the importance of platform fighters and what they need versus a traditional fighter. Traditional fighters, looking at like Street Fighter and Tekken, they're looking more for like competitive viability fresh out the gate. I mean, of course, you need recognizable IPs, but it makes that much more difference in a game like Multiversus, a game like Smash, a game like Nick All-Stars, where these are characters from other genres, and they might not even come from fighting games. They might even come from video games in general. They might just come from TV shows or whatever, but it makes that much more difference when the characters are innovatively themselves. I mean, let's be honest. Who would have thought in Marvel vs. Capcom you could fight with Phoenix Wright? Just like how I'm looking at Multiversus. Who would have thought in a game like this I can fight with Velma, who's a very good character, by the way. Harley Quinn's in there. Tom and Jerry are fighting each other while they're fighting others. It's just a very interesting. Ultra Instinct Shaggy as well. So it's cool.
Sorry to cut you off, but you touched on a really good point there by focusing on how exciting it is to play a platform fighter with this crossover appeal, because like you said, it's not just video game characters. It can be people from movies, people from TV shows, people from anyone in Warner Brothers pantheon of IPs. And I think that's why people were so excited about Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. Not to bring in this comparison again, but it's so hard not to compare the two, because like you were saying, Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl was, again, this platform fighter to come out with all of these people who were not traditionally from video games. They're from TV shows that we all grew up with, cartoons that we all love and hold dear. But obviously we know that that game still doesn't feel finished yet, whereas this, even in its closed alpha state, would you say it feels more finished than Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, having played both?
Well, yeah, and I've definitely the comparison is actually okay, because again, I think comparisons and competition just makes for good content, and with that good content, people like us, we get to have more fun with whatever. But yeah, I think it does have a slightly more polish to it. It feels a little bit more like Smash than it does Nick. Nick feels more like feels more like a melee, competitively.
Uh
In my
huh.
fingers, it feels more like a Project M. It feels like a Slap City. So, I think Nick, even though they have some of the same ingredients that Multiversus has, they're leaning more towards like that fast paced in your face gameplay, where Multiversus is a very competitive and fast game, but they want to make sure that in that speed, you can also still recognize the polish and just the aesthetic differences that makes Multiversus a game on its own. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna be real. I feel like, dude, Multiverse, I feel like the universe is almost a little too open. Like when I actually sat in my bed last night and I thought, I was like,
Interesting.
damn, there are a lot of characters that could end up in this game. Anything you've ever seen on Cartoon Network,
Yeah.
anything you've ever seen in a Warner Bros. Film. I
Yeah.
mean, Game of Thrones, The Matrix, It Chapter 1 and 2,
Pretty much anything on
Space
HBO
Jam.
Max is like
Any,
open.
yeah, it's like, dude, like we
Julia
could see
Child's
all
gonna be
types of
in
shit.
this next one.
Right. But Multiverse is a beautiful game. Nick, of course, is a great game too for those who want to play it, and I think Multiverses, of course, is just kind of bringing everybody together in the middle. I hope to see this type of behavior continue even after Evo. I know Evo has a lot of money on the line. That type of pop bonus, I'm gonna just call it for what it is, Brian. We've been in the industry for a long time. A new game comes out, a pop bonus gets announced. Everybody wants in on it.
Yeah.
Commentators, TOs, production players. We'll see how the
Well,
community
people follow
sits
the money.
after. But people follow, yeah, you got to chase the money. So, people are going to, stick around, but hopefully they stay after Evo because this is a beautiful game.
Now let's talk a little bit about the game itself, the gameplay, the technical aspects of it. From watching gameplay over this weekend, since this closed alpha kind of, is just out there and people are now playing it, people are, streaming it. We have these videos, we have pro players who have been trying it out. And you yourself has played it. I want to talk a bit about how much fighting in the air there is in this game. Like, I feel like there is a lot of air combat compared more to maybe Smash Brothers. And it just kind of looks like it feels a little more floaty. Can you speak to that aspect of the game?
Yeah, there is a large amount of the game that I think is played in the air, and because that it does kind of give off a slightly floatier feel. Um, I do think that for people like myself, and I know you and a handful of others, we come from Smash, we see that type of playing. We're like, okay, like it's not that the game needs to stay grounded, but if we're going to be in the air, I think the interactions need to be a little quicker. Um, I will have to agree with that. I think, of course, that's something that Tony Gwynn has picked up on Twitter, and of course, he might make some changes on that later on. But I think I guess the opposite end of that, like looking at some of the good things from the air combat, is that there is air combat, and
Yeah.
because of that, now I get to extend my combos just a little bit longer. Something more particularly in line with like Brawlhalla, right? Was Aether and Rushdown Revolt. So I think for those people who like to make sure that they can get as many buttons pressed as possible, you'll have a really good time with Nick and Multiverses. I mean, those two there are, I mean, you can get hit once, Brian, lose neutral, and you're eating 50, 60% just because you teched wrong.
Wow. Yeah, this is going to be really cool to see a meta evolve. Do you think that the character composition meta and how people build their duo of characters is going to matter more than in other 2v2 platform fighters?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna be honest, and this could be just like a really hot take. I don't think I've seen this much thinking in a platform fighter in a very, very long time. And what I
Okay.
mean by that is, in a 2v2 format, I think creatively it makes sense to lean more into that as opposed to maybe just the 1v1. We don't really get to see the innovation outside of like, okay, Superman has ice breath, he can float and he's really strong. That's cool. But when you lean into the 2v2 aspect, now you get to really look into like the character traits, the different attributes you can give the characters, and I think this is the WB coming out because we see this in Mortal Kombat as well. Like for instance, I don't know who you play in Mortal Kombat, but I play Johnny Cage, and in Mortal Kombat X, I use what's called stunt double, but he has two other variations, A list and fisticuffs. And so I see that show up in Multiverses a little bit more with like different types of Steven universes that can be used, different types of Superman, of course, Bugs Bunny, you name it. And when you rearrange not just what the characters can do, but their attributes and doubles, mix that up in a big old pot with the differences in players. No two players, of course, are the same no matter what character they're playing. You just get something different every time. And I think for a game like this, with that many layers to it competitively, different players coming from different communities, different characters doing. No two characters are even remotely close. Like there ain't gonna be no damn Echo Fighters in here. I think the meta is going to be evolving for quite some time. And with it being free to play, downloadable content all the time, and the developers listening, dude, this game is going to be around for fucking ever. And I'm here for it.
Wow. Yeah, I think you might be right that it might have a long, lifespan just because of the fact that it's going to be free to play. The open beta is coming this summer, and there's going to be a lot of people itching to get their hands on that open beta. I know a lot of people are already dying to play it. I know that when we did our little Multiversus stream here on Shacknews Twitch, our own Donovan Erskine, the greatest emote on Twitch, he did a quick little Multiversus stream, and before the gameplay was even on screen, it was just the starting soon, just the starting soon screen was up, and he had people in chat asking for codes. You know what I mean? Like it was that, and that's just on our channel alone. I mean, that is just that's wild. That just shows the hype and the fervor that people have for this game. Like people want to play it. I know a kid myself who I was talking to, like a 20-year-old kid, and he was like, he's like, man, I really want to try that Multiverse game. And I was like, oh, Multiversus? And he's like, yeah, is that what it's called? I was like, yeah, because it's just people see it and they're getting really excited for it. And although I feel like Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, just again with the comparison, I feel like it had this level of hype before release. I feel like when Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl was announced, it kind of broke the internet for a little bit. You had HBox like claiming like, oh, this is my new game and everything and blah 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 and all of that, and obviously that didn't come to pass. So it still has its champions. There's people out there championing for Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. I know your friend Max Ketchum is obviously one of those, and he's a stan and he's not dropping it. But do you think when Multiversus is out and everyone is playing it and Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl player base drops to essentially zero, do you think even the diehards are going to jump over?
It's really tough to say. I definitely see a bit of drop off in all the platform fighters when this comes out.
Yeah.
Again, there's money in this. They are very responsive developers. Very similar to Nick too. And really, honestly, all the platform fighters besides Smash, they're all very active on Twitter, talking back. But yeah, there's probably going to be a bit of drop off. I think the sheer nature of this game's polish, not even just competitively, but it's polish. I mean, it just screams that these developers, Tony and his team, are going to take their time. And if they've taken this much time to just give us the open beta or the open alpha, or the closed alpha rather, if they've taken this much time to do that, then I know that they have their next couple steps. I mean, they're probably actually acting like Batman right now. They probably have multiple steps in play to figure out what they want to do here. And I think they know that they waited a good time to stay away from Smash. Unlike Nick, came out the same day as Sora. And, not to tangent too much, I'm glad you bring up comparisons because, Smash is not really... They don't let the other platform fighters really bother them in terms of what they're doing.
Oh, no, because Smash is the king, right? Smash is Smash.
Right.
It will always be... It's the grandfather. It started it all. So what do they have to worry about?
Well, yeah. But the point that I'm getting at is that Multiversus and Nick are probably more inclined to compete. I think Smash in itself is... Their competition is Disney. Like, Disney and Nintendo, recognizable IPs, theme parks, movies, all that. Like, they're going head to head. I guess my biggest question is, Bryan, how long before we get a Disney Smash? Because
Disney platform fighter.
That's it. They've probably thought about it. I mean, think about it.
I think the only thing stopping that is Disney's reluctance to let their IPs have that much violence in their in their personality, whatever. I don't know if they would like to have a game where it's just their IPs and the only thing you do is fight. Like, obviously Kingdom Hearts, they let a lot of freedom go to Square with their IPs in Kingdom Hearts. They let Square do a lot of, write their own stories a little bit with the Disney characters and everything, and kind of do their own thing a little bit, but they still had guidelines that they had to follow for each and every one of those characters that they were allowed to use. And I know that game obviously has action, it has violence, it has, it has a beat 'em up, action RPG style to it. Just make a new Epic Mickey. Epic Mickey was so good. I think that's the only thing really stopping there from being a Disney only platform fighter, a Disney Pixar platform fighter, is just the violence aspect alone. But really, cartoony violence, I mean, nobody really, nobody is worried about that anymore. I don't know anyone who's clutching their pearls over cartoon violence. You'd have to be pretty uptight to be like, oh my gosh, Disney, Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse are fighting in this game or whatever. But who knows? Maybe there are people who just wouldn't stand for that to happen. I don't know. I don't think Nintendo really would be scared of a Disney platform fighter either. I don't think Nintendo's scared of any. No, because Smash Ultimate is the highest selling fighting game in history, in the universe. Right. And every Smash Brothers up until Ultimate has also sold tons of copies. And with Smash Ultimate being the greatest selling fighting game ever made, no, I don't think Nintendo's worried about any platform fighter coming out. Any of them, any single platform fighter coming out has to contend with Nintendo. They have to contend with Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers doesn't have to contend with anybody. You know what I mean? They're already sitting on top. Everyone else has the mountain to climb. And obviously nobody's been able to successfully topple Smash as the platform fighter of choice, the one that is on top, the AAA. And I don't think anyone will ever top Ultimate. I don't think it can be done. Masahiro Sakurai is a genius. The man makes masterpieces, and I don't think it could be done without his input in whatever game was trying to be better than Smash Brothers. Army of Techno says Nintendo already made their money off of Ultimate. Yeah, they made so much money off of Ultimate. They made their money. I'm sure they made the development costs back on that. Plus, plus lots more. So I think that's going to do it for our Multiversus talk, though. Very excited to see more of the game. Obviously, the closed alpha is out. If you have the ability to play it, give it a shot. Tell us what you think. It might not. I don't even know if it's still running. Was the closed alpha like a limited time kind of thing, just for like a few days or whatever?
Right. So it was. I had it a few days before, and it's running until the end of May. And then nothing in June. And
so a few more days.
In July. Yeah, so by the time I get back, I won't even have a chance to play. But also, just really quick before we move on, all I'm saying is that a Disney version of Smash, it'd be Disney characters and Pixar, but it would also be Star Wars and Marvel characters.
Oh, we'll see. Yeah, because if it was okay, so you're saying if it's everything that Disney owned, so that would also include that would include Fox. So that could be Simpsons characters.
That could be Simpsons characters.
Bob's Burgers characters, King of the Hill characters.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. See, now you see where I'm going.
Jeez.
It's a little different now. It's because Woody and Buzz versus Link and Donkey Kong. Probably gonna pick Link and Donkey Kong, but you put Iron Man, Spider-Man, Princess Jasmine, Wally, Kylo Ren. It's a little different now.
If it was everything that Disney, you're right. Man, because I was just thinking classic. I don't know why I was only thinking classical Disney. You're right. It would be the ultimate crossover of crossovers. If Masahiro Sakurai was on the dev team, then yes, Nintendo would be worried. But if not, then no, I don't think they would be worried. But I did still, you're right. I did have one more point to make about this game, because what you were talking about, how this dev team with Multiversus seems to be doing, taking all the right moves, making all the right choices, taking their time, doing it right, blah, blah, blah. But when you look at the devs behind it, these are AAA devs. These are people who have worked on, top tier AAA franchises. They might not be platform fighters, they might not even be fighting games, but they have experience in the industry making, you know, video games that, you know, we've all played and loved. Where I know, and not to discount Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl and all the other people making all the other platform fighters, Brawlhalla and, you know, Rushdown Revolt and all of this, but they're more indie teams that are lesser experienced, you know, don't have as many titles shipped, you know, under their belt. And not to say that they're not talented teams, because they are very talented teams, but they just, you can tell the difference between a AAA developed game like Multiversus and an indie developed game like Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there's just a different level of polish there, which again, you know, to our point earlier, that type of polish we had only ever seen from Smash until Multiversus. So yeah, you're right. It just goes to show, you know, the platform fighter universe is ever expanding. There's a new one popping up. Who knows? There might even be a Shacknews version of Smash coming out pretty soon. Who knows? But one thing's for sure, Multiversus is definitely bringing everybody together, and I think that if nothing else, that was probably its intended purpose and its intended goal. And $100,000, I think that's enough to bring just about any damn body in on the sticks.
Tilted at Work will dev for Shack Smash. All right, let's do it. We got Shacknews, Shack Smash. Man, who would be the characters? All the Shacknews alums and staff, and yeah, man, that would be wild. It'd be a wild game for sure. But no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna make that. We're just gonna play Multiverses, and we're gonna love it. Surfer Boy will fight anyone. Of course he will. Those Aussies, those Aussies love it. They love a good brawl. Let's move on though. We have to talk about some fortunate. I was gonna say unfortunate news, but it's actually more fortunate than anything. And Army of Techno's like, no, not happening. Shack Pets is the Shack dev focus right now. No Shack Smash. But no, yeah, let's move into some kind of fortunate news for the fighting game community and a lot of tournaments moving forward. It looks like infamous Infiltration, notable fighting game community player, pro. He's been seen at, tournaments for a long time now, but he is definitely not a great guy. I mean, he's not known for making smart choices or doing good things. Right. So, and because of that, he received some emails recently, one from Evo, one from Combo Breaker, one from pretty much everybody. All the big names in fighting games have told him, we don't want you at our tournament. Looking at our community guidelines and, yada, yada, it looks like that you don't qualify or meet our threshold for players, and you can kick rocks. So please don't come. You can come to the tournament, but you're not playing in the tournament. You can pay your entry fee and you can be in the crowd like everybody else. And yeah, so and like Infiltration put out a whole twit longer, and I'm not even going to put that on the screen because I don't care. Yeah. And I don't even want to give it the airtime. But he's kind of like acting kind of as the victim in this case, thanking his fans for the support and, being behind him in this time and blah, blah, blah. But like the guy, like, allegedly abused his girlfriend, has not allegedly been recorded saying racial slurs on stream. I mean, it's like, just like, dude, like you're just not going to be invited to play at these tournaments. It's just not going to happen. Right. And you're not the victim here either. Like, what do you think about this, Rod?
Well, and so my original take when I first heard the first allegations with him and his wife, I was like, okay, this is absolutely horrible.
Or his wife? Yes. Excuse me. Thank you.
Or I actually don't know if it's his girl. It's whoever he was seeing at the time, which no matter ring or not, obviously it's terrible. Yeah. I thought, okay, he doesn't understand how much of a privilege it is to be in this space. I think sometimes we take things for granted because we can go everywhere for free. You can show up for free. Playing, of course, costs money, but you can go to all these tournaments. And we sometimes misconstrue the idea of just being welcome with open arms. And I think for somebody like Infiltration, my initial thought was, okay, maybe him and her got into it. Maybe they were fighting each other, whatever. Like, I don't exactly know the story, but whatever the case is, it's probably best you just stay home for a little bit. Work on yourself, dude. Like, you know, if it's coming down to that and, you know, you versus your girlfriend, more times than not, my dude, you're going to be stronger than your girlfriend. So let's just start there. And regardless if you're stronger than her or not, you shouldn't be putting your hands on each other, and you for damn sure shouldn't be putting your hands on her.
Yeah.
So I think you need to stay home and work on yourself.
Yeah,
and
the fact remains nobody should be putting their hands on anybody in any sense without consent, you know, without like nobody should be trying to hurt someone they love or anyone in any situation. It's just not
right.
It's just not acceptable at all. I feel like you're right though. It's not something that you like try to sweep under the rug and try to keep, you know, just playing your game, right? Like, you need to better yourself. You need to take accountability for yourself. And I feel like there's none of that. It's just trying to keep going, right?
Yeah, he's trying to keep going. He's trying to kind of superstar his way through it. Looks like when he get called out on Twitter, and obviously your mentions are in shambles, but you're just still tweeting as if nothing's going on. He's tweeting through it. And I you know, my take always when it comes to people from other countries is, are we as Americans being really rough on them? You know, I'm always, you know, defending people from other countries. But then I looked at this and I read into it. I'm just like, okay, no, dude, you said the N-word on stream. You know, you probably shouldn't say shit like that, man, especially if you're, you know, one of the top, you know, people in the fighting game, everything ever. You know, he's not just some nobody. I mean, he's been in this for a very long time, multiple, you know, finals placements. And, you know, even if you weren't that big, you know, you probably shouldn't say it. You know, me personally, if you say that type of stuff around me, I might be in the mood to check you. I might be in the mood to deck you, or I might just leave it alone. It's a lot of RNG right there. But depending on where you're at, you go to some place like Harlem or some place like Queens and you say some shit like that, you're probably going to get fucking punched. So don't exactly know why he said this, and honestly, like you, I don't care.
I know the context. The context was that he was basically defending casual racism in the FGC space. Like, he was saying, like, he was basically trying to say, well, no, it's cool if you like clown on me for being Korean and blah blah blah, and I'm gonna do the same if you're black, and I'm gonna do the same to you. And this, you know, basically, he was basically trying to condone casual racism between two players. Between two competitors in the FGC space, which is again totally not cool. Like, it was something that happened a lot more like in the early and mid 90s, you know, even up to the late 90s and early 2000s. It's something that the FGC has struggled with for sure. But it is something that we've tried to move past. And he was basically trying to make FGC great again, right? like, dude, no, nobody wants that.
No, nobody wants that. And I'll be honest, man, like, you know, unless we're like super duper close, like I got some close homies, we make dumb jokes like that towards each other. But that's a them and I thing. Those are people that I've known basically as like my, you know, family my whole life, you know. And, you know, even in making those types of jokes towards each other, like, they stop, you know, at a certain age. Like, you know, you did that when you were younger. As you got older, like, okay, we used to joke like this. And I know, like, we just don't do that anymore. That's not how we need to talk to each other.
At a certain age,
I know that we didn't mean anything by it.
Better, right?
You just know. And, yeah, and if you know better, you grow better. And for somebody like Infiltration, dude, come on, man. Like, you already had a really shit time defending yourself for your last little, you know, escapade on Twitter. You sure you want to, you know, go on record to do something like this again? And, you know, sometimes people just got to touch the stove to see it's hot. Dude, keep getting burned. The stove is hot. Do it, man. Go for it. You won't be here for much longer.
What you said there with, if you know better, you grow better, I think that's absolutely true. And obviously Infiltration doesn't know any better. He's not trying to grow from any of this. He's just trying to play the victim and be like, poor me, I don't get to go to Combo Breaker. I don't get to go to Evo. Well, you know what, Infiltration? We don't want you there. And they obviously, the TOs obviously don't want you there. So bye-bye. You know what I mean? Hey. See ya. Goodbye. Yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah, with Rick and O, sorry, not to harp.
No, go ahead.
With Rick, being in charge of Evo and Combo Breaker, and of course Jabali and Rick being like this, dude. Like, if you cross, any of those guys at one, best believe you're not going to any goddamn thing for a very long time, man. And I think Evo said you're not allowed to compete. Combo Breaker said you're not allowed to attend. But with people like Jabali at this event, it would be in your best interest to not show up somewhere where you're not supposed to be. Because I don't know if you guys have seen Jabali lately. That's a whole lot of man. And if he has to remove you himself, he most definitely will.
No, he absolutely will, for sure. I know that. But yes, I feel like it's only a good thing that TOs are maybe starting to hold these kinds of players accountable for their actions. And, telling them that we don't want you here. And maybe we'll see more of this in the future, with high-profile players not being allowed to compete in these large tournaments because of their actions. And I'm for it, right? I'm all for accountability. I'm all for that. If you're not going to at least learn and grow from your actions, at least you should have to suffer the consequences of them. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. But what I do have even more to say about is what you should be doing here on Twitch TV/Shack. What should the fine folks watching be doing here on Twitch.tv/Shacknews, Rod?
I'm glad you asked, man. If you're here on Shacknews.com right now, like you're watching Bryan and I talk about video games, just everything else under the video game hemisphere, then you should be liking, you should be following, you for damn sure should be subscribing. Bryan, we got some of the coolest emotes ever, man. Of course, we talked about Lola Pomeranian, and then we got Boss Man in the chat, Surfer Boy, everybody's in the chat hanging out. But we got the Donovan Erskine emote, and it don't get much more handsome than that. You got to subscribe to Shacknews.com. And we got other social media links. Bryan, tell them about them.
Well, we, of course, have our Twitter account, twitter.com/Shacknews. We have our Facebook account, also at Shacknews, and Instagram at Shacknews Media. Make sure you check out all of those, follow all of those. The Facebook one I hear is blowing up. Like, the engagement over at Facebook is just going nuts, all because of like the Elon Musk stories, I guess, or something like that. Whenever we run a story in that sector of technology, it's always going to get a lot of engagement from the tech bros out there. And yeah, it looks like Facebook is the place for it. But really, if you want to interact with us on social media and on any of those platforms, make sure you head over to those pages, give us a follow, give us a like, whatever the sharing equivalent is on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you give us a quote tweet, a retweet, all that good stuff. And make sure you give a good word to DennyVonDoom, because he's the one who's holding them all down. DVD, the man, making sure all of our social media is on point, and he's doing a damn fine job of it too. So yeah, we have all of those platforms, but we also have our own social media platform, and that's in the form of Shack Pets. Yes, Shack Pets is where you can head over and get into a brand new competitive format for Shacknews. We're talking pets versus other pets. You can upload pictures of your own pets, challenge other people's pets, but it's not even all about competition. It's really just about cute pets, because you don't have to compete. You can just sign up, look through the pet feed, see all the great cute pictures that everybody is uploading, and de-stress a little bit during your day. But of course, if you do want to compete and you do want to get into the action, you can do that. You can upload those pictures, you can challenge other people, you can vote on the challenges, swiping left or right, deciding which pet you think is the cutest, and all of it is free. It doesn't cost a dime. You can go over to the iOS App Store or the Google Play Store, find Shack Pets, download it for free, get a Shacknews account, or log into your existing Shacknews account and get started. It's that easy, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's really awesome. It's probably the best way to spend 5 minutes of your day. And yeah, make sure you go and check it out. But also make sure you just check out Shacknews.com itself. That's what you see up there on the stream. The mother site, we have a big Multiversus feature and preview up that Donovan wrote. He was also playing the game. We have all kinds of other news, all kinds of other reviews, previews, guides, anything you could think of as far as gaming and technology news. We got you covered. Make sure you go check that out. Plus all sorts of handy community features that are free for you. Just by having a Shacknews account, you get access to Shacknews itself, of course, Shacknews Cortex, our own user-generated content platform where you can write about anything you want. You can embed videos or social media posts, pretty much anything. You can have it posted as a very spiffy looking article, and it's all hosted with the domain authority of Shacknews.com behind it. It's really cool. Gotta love Shacknews Cortex. We also have Shacknews Reader, where you can import, you can ingest all kinds of RSS feeds or YouTube channels or, Reddit feed, subreddits, anything like that. You can put into Shacknews Reader, and then it gives you all of the content that those platforms are putting out, but in a nice, neat, chronological format as it gets posted, not, whatever they think the hottest news is or the top posts or up votes and down votes or anything influencing it. No, you get to see everything that's out there posted in chronological order right there, right on Shacknews.com in Shacknews Reader. It's the most underutilized and excellent feature of the website. We also have Shacknews Chatty, our own community of users talking about pretty much anything you can think of, sometimes video games. And of course, we also have Shacknews Mercury, our own subscription service where you can subscribe to Shacknews, our website, for less than $1 a month if you do it yearly, or as little as $1 a month if you do it month by month. And it really goes a long way into helping Shacknews.com bring you all of this amazing content. Plus, it also gives you cool member perks like chatty emblems, access to David Craddock's long reads in EPUB or PDF format, so you can read them anywhere on anything with no internet connection required. David Craddock, shout out to our long reads editor. He actually is directing a brand new documentary about first-person shooters, so definitely check him out. Check out his long reads. If you think you are interested in that kind of stuff, the dude knows what he's talking about, and he writes a mean story about game development, that's for sure. So yeah, check out all the long reads. Check out his FPS documentary as well when that's released. Check it all out. And of course, make sure you go to YouTube to check out all of our videos that we're uploading, all of the stuff we have over here on Twitch. If you miss our Twitch shows, if you miss the wide world of esports, you can head over there, check out the VODs, and you can check out all of our pre-recorded content as well. There's tons of it, thousands of hours of, like I said, previews, reviews, interviews, developer interviews as well over on Gamer Hub videos, because we have two channels, Shacknews Games and Gamer Hub videos. So yeah, check them both out. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. And
yes,
it's a great way to spend your day. So yeah, let's get back to the esports news though, shall we?
Let's do it.
We still got a lot to talk about. So next up is a twofer on the more slower paced strategic of the first person shooter esports. That's right, the two competing first person shooters, Valorant and Counter-Strike Global Offensive. They're kind of similar, kind of different, but the one thing they have in common is they have big organizations playing them for big money. First up was a Valorant tournament. The North America Stage 2 main event is continuing for the VCT, the Valorant Champions Tour. It's still ongoing. This past weekend was not the end of it, but it did have some excellent matches. On May 20th, it looks like Luminosity was able to defeat FaZe Clan, who is definitely known for their Valorant team. Ghost was able to defeat the Guard. And then the next day, the 21st, we had TSM over 100 Thieves, Evil Geniuses defeating the Sentinels, And then on the final day of tournament play for this weekend, we had Optic over Cloud9 and Xset defeating NRG. Yeah, Rod, damn it, I did it again. I keep showing the Google Doc by accident.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, my bad. I'm still getting used to this. Sorry. But there it is. Yeah, we had some excellent Valorant tournament play this weekend, and I didn't get a chance to watch it, Rod. But yeah, what do you think of FaZe Clan and 100 Thieves losing out this weekend?
And you know I'm not happy about it. But you know, though, that's just how it goes. I mean, Valorant, of course, is a different beast in comparison to some of the other games that we've covered here.
Yeah.
But one thing is, you know, for sure, FaZe Clan and 100 Thieves are an absolute monster, absolute powerhouse, and no matter which game they pick up. Obviously, we've seen it in Smash most recently with FaZe Clan picking up Spargo. What a pickup that is. Waiting for 100 Thieves to come on over. They got commentators, but we need players, okay? But if you need a commentator, 100 Thieves, and y'all watching, I know a guy. Anyway, though, yeah, you know, also to see Xset over NRG, or yeah, NRG was, you know, definitely something that caught my eye. Of course, Xset is a team that we have, you know, talked about in various ways, but not really in the competitive format. More so, just like, again, like the culture and lifestyle aspect of esports that, you know, that whole hemisphere is starting to kind of turn into. But to see them show up and show out versus NRG, I think is very telling and very promising on what they're going to be like in the future. NRG, of course, absolute powerhouses themselves. And of course, you know, I mean, I see notable wins in there too. I think TSM, of course, has been really strong from the start. I think, you know, of all their teams, they might be doing the worst in, I believe, League of Legends, and that's only because, again, they've had a reset on that roster. Valorant, I know they've been very solid fighting games, of course, and, you know, of course, so on and so forth with all the other games that they're in. I know you mentioned, excuse me, why is something in this water? I don't know what it is. Luminosity, right? I know did you mention them?
No, I don't believe so. I just switched over to the Valorant play, but let me actually go back to our full cam, and I can look at this again. So, no, I did. Yeah, Luminosity is the team that defeated FaZe. Sorry. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about Luminosity a couple times too, just with Halo, of course, them bringing that team back, you know, for HCS, and you know, stepping up to the plate here in a different shooter. It's nice. You know, I love this level of storytelling. I mean, I don't think that it comes as a surprise that you know, TSM is, you know, beating the people, you know, that they're beating, and of course with FaZe Clan as well. I mean, they're losing to some very recognizable people.
Luminosity is a great team.
Teams just traditionally, but Xset, but Xset over NRG and Luminosity over FaZe. I mean, that's definitely thrown me for a loop. But hey, I love it. I didn't really know this was happening until I went back and watched a little bit of it this afternoon, and I'm like, you know what? If I get storytelling like this between these teams, I'm gonna have to play a little bit more Valorant. I'm absolutely dog shit, but you know what? It starts somewhere, right? I gotta play at least.
Well, you and Tilted at work can squad up, because Tilted's saying the exact same thing, that they're gonna have to start playing Valorant just because everybody else is. Yeah, it's a very popular game, and honestly, I thought this game was going to lose more momentum rather than gain the momentum that it has. And that's in no small part, of course, to Riot just really just pumping the money and the resources and the devotion to making this the esports that they know it can be. And I think it's a good thing, because Counter-Strike needs competition, right? There really wasn't anything like Counter-Strike on the market that was able to sustain a foothold and become an esport in the way that Counter-Strike was and has been for so long. And for Riot to be able to take that formula and add, you know, add a twist to it with the hero abilities and everything. Yeah, I think it's great. And I think competition obviously is a good thing. It drives both games to be better. Obviously, rather than just kind of, you know, resting on your laurels and letting the game stagnate. Yeah, I think this is really cool, and it's not the end for this tour. So this is ongoing. This entire Champions Tour is not over yet, so there will be more games to watch, I believe in June. I think the first weekend of June is when the next set of games will take place for this ongoing tour. So yeah, we'll definitely be reporting on that. But that's not the only that's not the only one that happened this weekend, because the other one, Counter-Strike, of course, it also had a large tournament this weekend. And this was not an ongoing event. No, this is not a main event that's continuing. This was just a one and done major tournament, a PGL major in Antwerp this weekend. Saw a huge prize pool up for grabs. $1 million up for grabs in Antwerp for Counter-Strike Go. And while FaZe Clan didn't have a lot of success in Valorant this weekend, they had a bunch of success in that analogous game with Counter-Strike because they won the whole thing. They took the tournament, and I'll tell you, it was a big payout for them. I'm sure FaZe Clan is very happy, and they're going to need that money because they're trying to launch, you know, they're trying to do that merger, that SPAC merger that we were talking about a couple weeks ago, and you know they need the cash. They just won $500,000 for this win this weekend. $500,000 going to those players, and of course some of it to the organization, of course. Over Na'Vi, of course, like just a dominant team in esports as well, not just Counter-Strike but other games. So yeah, Na'Vi got 150K of that 1 million, and but yeah, FaZe Clan taking the 500 is big news. What do you think about that, Rod? I can't quite hear you. I don't know what happened. Oh no. Everything was going so well. And his homies at FaZe Clan, they won. Yeah. Really big news for them. I mean, you know they're going to need that money for sure. Okay, let's see. No, I cannot. What happened? Why can't I hear Rod? Why can't I hear Rod? Rod, what now? There we go. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I was saying that I think this is an awesome thing, man. I think Counter-Strike Go is one of the most legendary shooters on the planet. I feel like it's not necessarily competitively falling by the wayside, but sometimes it kind of gets a little overshadowed. And what better way in traditional esports to make sure you keep your name in bright and shining lights than throwing a shit ton of money at your damn game. Whether you do it fresh out the gate, you do it in the middle, or you do it at the tail end while it's dying, you put that money on board. That's going to bring some of the best in the world, if nothing else. And I think that's what we've seen here this weekend. You know, Counter-Strike, or just really a lot of these games, man, they're just, you know, shooters, of course, are like, you know, the bread and butter of esports is what keeps this genre moving forward. Of course, League of Legends is probably the biggest esport on the planet, but I think it's really the shooters that gives the esports hemisphere kind of its heart and soul. And I think, you know, with $1 million on the line, I mean, you're bound to see some of the best action you've seen in really quite some time. It baffles me at times, though, like how these esports come up with so much damn money, and then like there are like other things in esports that need. I don't want to sound like a esports humanitarian, but I'm like, how are we constantly throwing around $1 million for everything? And there's like kids who can't play video games and all that. I mean, it's not their obligation, their duty to do it, but I'm just like, $1 million, and there's people who can't even. Here I am in Cuba. Like, they don't even get tournaments, but got other esports throwing around $1 million. Like, I got some ideas on where we can put that money. But big shout out to FaZe Clan. They need to, you know, make money. They got to pay Snoop Dogg. I'm sure they're probably launching NFTs soon. Yeah. They got to do all that stuff, so I get it.
No, yeah. Congrats to them for winning this. Congrats to Na'Vi for taking second place. Congrats to all the teams who were able to get some money over in Antwerp this weekend. I mean, yeah, it's big money too. Like, yeah, you have a point there though. Like $1 million for this PGL major, for a game that, like you said, it's iconic. It's quintessential. It is one of the original first-person shooter esports, but it's an old-ass game, right? Like, this is an old-ass game. I mean, geez, you can't get $1 million for Smash Ultimate tournaments. You can't get you can't.
Well,
because
we tried,
Nintendo,
remember, but it gets
Nintendo just won't let. They just won't let it happen. They're not going to be shown up by people like that. They won't do it. No. Yeah. So. Multiversus, like we said, talking about that again, that's going to be, you know, pretty big, but it's not $1 million. I feel like these established esports, you know, like Counter-Strike, Dota, League of Legends, they get the money because they get the viewers. and they get the viewers because these games are just crazy popular. They just have so many people playing them around the world, and that's just how it is, Rod. I mean, if you want $1 million thrown at your game, you either have to be Microsoft and be willing to put the money in for the big pots and hope the talent comes and plays regardless of the quality of your game, or you can be one of these established esports and just say, by just sheer virtue of having so many people play the game, you are able to have those big prize pools. That's why Dota 2 gets those giant record-breaking prize pools, because they have just so many people contributing money, buying those compendiums, increasing it every single year. And honestly, I think this is a good thing, because if anything, these large prize pools for weekend majors will only help legitimize esports as real big business sports. You know what I mean? Like, if these guys can go out and make $500,000 in a weekend, I mean, that's got to make people who, considered, real sports to be the only way to, make that real athlete money or whatever. Like, those kinds of people have to be rethinking that sentiment, that mentality right now.
I think so, man. I read an article today, and I didn't want to link it because I didn't want to cover any more betting crypto stories like that. Whatever. But I seen a story, and it mentioned the idea of possibly esports betting, being the leading, betting anything.
Oh, esports betting esports betting is getting very big. You can do it in Vegas right now. I mean, I agree with you and that article. I think esports betting could eclipse regular sports betting within the next, 5-10 years.
Oh yeah, easily, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I think it's going to start with events like this. But we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, again, Vegas. We touched on it earlier in the show, but Vegas is the home of placing your bets. Going there, placing bets, regrets. Losing a lot of money, all that type of stuff. And as much as I like losing money, if I had to pick a way to do it, I'd much rather do it in the video game hemisphere. At least I feel like I have a little bit of control on what happens, as opposed to blackjack or some shit where I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So we'll see. $1 million though, I'm with you, Brian. A lot of money, and they got the views and the numbers to back that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just makes sense.
No, it does. And it just shows that, I mean, we know that esports is big time. But it's just showing that, it's only getting more popular. And the crowd was pretty big there in Antwerp as well. I mean, it was a live event with a big crowd, all cheering for their favorite teams. This is it's just really cool to see. I like seeing these big majors take place in large arenas, because I mean, look at these shots of these crowds. That's like tens of thousands of people. I mean, if not 100,000 people at that arena. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, that's some fucking Freddie Mercury shit right there. Like, that's, that audience is packed. And for CSGO of all games,
Counter-Strike is big in Europe.
It's very big, and it's an old game. You and I, we're video game boomers. We like our old games, Super Smash Brothers Melee. I get it. If you still pack in arenas, if you can still get asses and seats, why not? And I think, dude, what better way to do it than $1 million? I mean, I don't care how that money translates in your local currency. $1 million is $1 million goddamn dollars. Like, you need to show up if you can play. Absolutely.
Yeah, great to see this tournament. Great to see both the Valorant and Counter-Strike action happening this weekend. We will definitely be looking at more of that in the future. But Surfer Boy Sam saying CSGO still hitting 830,000 users on Steam every single day. Yeah, it's a big game. It's a big game. A lot of players. People love it. So let's get into some news on another tactical shooter that has hit the esports scene in a big way and made a name for itself and kind of cemented itself as one of the big boys in first-person shooter esports. And quick, before I get into all of that, I just want to say thank you for all the follows during this stream. JRV97, Scott Vegeta. I'm sure there's some others that I missed. Thank you guys for the follows. Very much appreciated. Welcome in. Hope you are appreciating the esports talk. We got more of it because, the other tactical shooter I want to talk about is Rainbow Six. And it looks like Rainbow Six Siege is getting a couple of updates. So one is some skins that are going to be available. And Rod, these skins look pretty cool. What's up with Yakuza and Rainbow Six Siege, like, getting mashed up together?
I don't know. What's funny is I thought that this was going to happen in Fortnite first. I know people are kind of talking about this, I think about a year or so ago, especially when like the Yakuza memes were really heavy online. People are like, this just kind of makes sense. This character's everywhere right now. These characters, rather, not just the main protagonist, but really all the characters. Or is he really a protagonist? But yeah, the main character and everybody. So maybe they might end up in Fortnite, but it ended up in another shooter, and I think this is just a really cool thing to see. Yakuza was a game that I interacted with briefly. I didn't play very much of it, but I was more so into the memes first, and then the memes pulled me over into checking out what it was all about and what all it had to offer, and I was very happy. And of course, Rainbow Six. I mean, let's talk about that. That is a shooter, a tactical shooter at that too. Not to say the other ones aren't, but Rainbow Six, of course, very tactical. And I think it could use a little sauce like this in this department. I know that they're getting new costumes. Of course, these Yakuza characters. I think who doesn't want to play as these guys? I mean, if I certainly do. And I think the costumes are a little bit more tasteful than some of the other like costumes I've seen. Like over in fighting games, we'll get like I want to say it was like Soul Calibur. We got like Mario and Peach costumes, and I was like, these look like shit.
And they did not look good.
No, they did not. But these I would imagine.
Well, these are just good. They look like the character models from Yakuza. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's not even a skin really. It's almost like you get a whole brand new character to play as, but it is replacing an existing operator, right? So you're not getting new abilities or any new weapons or anything like that. It's just the appearance of your character that's changing. But yeah, I agree with you how drastic they're willing to go with the character appearance changes. It's not just the skin that kind of looks like the thing. No, it just straight up looks like the characters from the Yakuza games.
Yeah, they certainly do. And I think again, I'm always gonna value crossing over a lot of things in the video game genre. I think why not? I think Rainbow Six, I mean, they've had some cool updates and stuff. They might be a little late to the party when it comes to skins and packs and mods, at least in comparison to some of their, I want to say competitors? I mean, they're kind of like in a thing of their own, but
yeah.
I think, this right here can certainly, get the ideas moving in the next boardroom meeting. People definitely want to play as Yakuza character.
Yeah. This is more like, this isn't really esports focused. This is more just kind of keeping Rainbow Six Siege going as a game as a service, right? Because the game itself doesn't really have competitors as far as the gameplay, as far as a tactical shooter that's like entrenched in AAA esports, as far as other than Counter-Strike and Valorant and everything. But as far as a game as a service, it has tons of competitors, because Fortnite is definitely a competitor in that space. Apex Legends, every major, battle royale game or whatever is a competitor in that space, plus all the other games as a service games that are out there. Rainbow Six Siege is no different now. And yeah, this is more in line with that. Yeah, this is just kind of trying to get money in for development for the game and keep people happy that, keep them coming back to give them just new stuff to check out. And, speaking of new stuff to check out in Rainbow Six Siege, that's not the only news that was unveiled. No, we actually have a brand new operator coming as well. And it looks like this operator is going to be called Sen. So, introducing Sen, the game's first non-binary operator. Sens. Sens is the game's first non-binary operator. Sens is an attacking operator that's going to be introduced as part of the game's Operation Vector Glare expansion. And according to their bio, Sens is a brilliant tactician from Belgium with military experience and training in psychology. So this is the third representation for the LGBTQ community in Rainbow Six Siege after Flores and Osa, who was also the game's first transgender character. So yeah, that's really cool that Rainbow Six Siege is also, trying to bring a lot of representation to their game, to their characters, give their players characters that they can identify with. I think that's really great. What do you think about this move?
I think inclusion, the more inclusion, the better. I like it. Um, I feel like, before, we've had characters that kind of leaned a little bit to this, especially in fighting games. I believe for a long time in Tekken, I want to say Leo's. I think they were introduced in Tekken 6, and a lot of people for a long time were like, what the hell is going on? And the response was, why the fuck does it matter? This character punches and kicks, doesn't it? Like, that's what we're here to do. We can figure out all that stuff later. Or even I believe in Street Fighter slash Streets of Rage, the character Rose is canonically a transgender woman. So, I like that, of course we have a small history in it, but we need to see more of that type of representation. And, in a game like Rainbow Six, I don't think, I was almost going to say, I don't think there's a bigger shooting platform to do it on. There most definitely are. But Rainbow Six, of course, has that staying power. When they do things, people talk about it, people notice. And I think this is cool. I think this is good. Not just in media, like in films, do we need to see people that look like us, that act like us. That's how you get the ideas and everything going, especially for young people. I think we need to even see it in video games too. Some of these games take place in the year fucking 6012. So you mean to tell me that there's no transgender people that exist in the year 6000 or, whatever the case may be? Like, come on, like people exist. These are like human beings. What's up?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. It's a great move, and it's great inclusion. As far as you were saying, inclusion is great for all games, and yeah, more representation is a good thing. I could definitely see, internet toxic bros, having not so nice things to say about this, but who gives a shit? This absolutely, definitely, like you're saying, this is something that needs to be represented more. Characters that go towards, like I said, making sure that everybody is included in these kinds of games. Like it shouldn't just be, dude bro after dude bro. That's not who's playing these games. Everybody plays games, so everybody should be able to be represented in games. So yeah, it's just it only makes sense that you would have more representation in these types of games going forward. And I think Rainbow Six Siege is definitely doing the right thing as far as introducing characters like this. Overwatch was also one that was one of the first person shooters I can think of that really was dedicated to having inclusion and representation being a core facet of its character roster. And I just think we'll see more of this going forward, right? Like, or hopefully we see inclusion and representation being a facet of more character rosters going forward.
No doubt about that. I'm gonna be real. Like, had you shown me this video, and I didn't read anything about it, I would never had thought anything. I would have just been like, oh, okay, it's another character in
exactly
Rainbow Six. But it's not until you read into it that you're like, oh. Obviously, this character seems to be like a person of color, so I relate to them on that level. I'm not a non-binary person, but somebody else read into this and was like, or they're probably watching right now, and they're like, oh, there's somebody here for me. I was already going to play this game, and I didn't really notice until I read into it. But now that I've read into it, information being power, I am now going to be a little bit more drawn to this game, or if not, just to play the game so I can interact with the character, and that's what it should be about.
Absolutely. Well said. I think we can move on to our final story of the day, however. And that, of course, is one we always like to make a feel-good kind of story, something wholesome to go out on. And this one is no different. We're talking about Game On, a article that's talking about the growing popularity of esports in Michigan, helping kids learn STEM and earn scholarships, even. So, esports getting you scholarships has got to be something that's, not common, but hopefully becoming more common. What do you think?
Oh, of course, man. We talk about like the esports space moving into like the crypto and NFT space, and I know that we can, harp and talk about that forever. But when I think of like stories and things, I need more highlights and more eyes on the prize. It's definitely esports and just the educational format. You know, we have covered stories about, you know, esports at like the intramural level, the collegiate level, of course, top professionals. I mean, this is esports for God's sakes. Um, but you know, I want to see more stories like this pop up because I think, you know, as esports becomes more of more than just games, more than just a brand, you know, that you use to sell sponsorship, but as it becomes more of a lifestyle, we're going to see more of these types of stories pop up. Young people, you know, telling their parents like, "Mom, I'm really good at this game," and she's like, "You know, your older brother said that, you know, before he went to the military, he grew out of it, blah blah." Like, no, it's different now. Like, I have better ways to be better. You know, we're doing it in an after school club. You know, we're traveling to other high schools. We're playing. We're beating people. You're like, I think I can do this. And when you have stories like this, now you can prove to people that this isn't just a fad. Like, hey, there is actual legitimized proof here. There's a level of connection from intramural to collegiate, from collegiate to um, top professional play, and stories like this highlighting it will help push that culture forward. This is just it's so awesome, man. STEM was a really big thing when I used to teach. We used to have the local university come to the school and get involved, and of course, STEM. That's a huge umbrella right there. Like that could be literally anything. And the kids loved it, and to see it kind of work coincide with esports, I think is going to really talk to a very specific type of person, a very specific type of young person that is. Because when I used to teach, you know, some kids, you know, are you know, they have big personalities. They can talk to you, you know, say they don't really care. But there's a lot of kids who are very shy, you know, and so when they find that one staff member, that one teacher that they feel like they relate to, they really grab and they latch on, figuratively, of course. And so I always felt like, okay, well, you know, I play a little basketball. I got the athletic kids, you know, and I'm funny, so you know, I can talk to some of the other kids just based off of that. But there's a very specific type of kid that will come that's like, hey, I like the STEM and I like Pokemon cards and video games, but I don't really have a person like that. You're that person for me now. And when we opened up the STEM program and like the video game club after school, more of those kids started to pop up and they started to look up content now. Oh, you're good at this game. Let me check this out on YouTube. Okay, I want to be that. I don't know what that is, but I want to be that thing there. And I think I do that by playing and interacting with STEM and esports. I love this. You know, I mean, just to kind of delve in on the story just a little bit, I believe this is Oakland University, which competitively is a very strong university. We've covered them in Smash a couple times.
Yeah, Oakland University is known for its esports organization, and I think that's great. I think we need to see more colleges get known for their esports orgs, and I think it's actually a really great way to get the name of your school out there, right? Because you have smaller schools that have made a name for themselves in NCAA sports, right? Like here in my local town, we have Gonzaga, right? And obviously, you know of them for their men's basketball team. Anyone who follows NCAA basketball has heard of that team because that school has focused so much on and spent so much money on that basketball program that they have made it to that level. But that takes decades of, and like not only decades of time, but millions of dollars and crazy recruitment, where I feel like esports is way easier to get a program just up and going. You know, just need a few consoles, a few setups, a few computers. Sure. Most universities have computer labs of some kind already, so it's not so hard to see that setting up some kind of esports organization would be a lot easier than setting up, you know, a traditional sports program. But not only that, but if you can recruit players and students who are, you know, showing really, you know, real promise and talent, then yeah, you could be like Oakland University in Michigan and make a name for yourself just through esports alone. And yeah, I just think that's incredible.
I do too. This is just something that's really beautiful to see. I'm so happy that we're finally getting programs and things like that to highlight, you know, different types of youth, you know, that it, like you said, it's not just about, you know, maybe, you know, of course you have to be in some sort of college, so you have to know what you're doing. I'm not saying that smart people go to college, because there are some very stupid people with degrees, but, you know, I think to be in that type of format, you have to be open to wanting more. You know, athletes are athletes. You know what I'm saying? You got cheerleaders, you got, you know, everybody has a crew. But I feel like the gamers are a little bit late to getting that type of shine and recognition. And again, I say it once, I'll say it again. Maybe they'll get into the esports space, Bryan, and they'll be like, hey, maybe I'm not so much a player. Maybe I want to be more of a developer. When I interviewed Thaddeus Cruz from Ludosity, that's exactly where he went.
Yeah.
Maybe this production, these people like me who just want to yap for a living. There's all types of stuff, but regardless, it starts with picking up the controller or the keyboard and mouse, and from there you'll be able to kind of write your own journey. So big shout out to Oakland University for this. Keep up the good work. Love it.
No, yeah, you touched on one note that, yeah, a lot of people who are in these esports programs in high school and college, yeah, they might want to learn about the inner workings of these games that they're playing, which will then get them involved in coding and, you know, maybe even making games. And yeah, that's a career path, a opportunity that they might not have even thought of before they started, you know, playing an esport competitively. Yeah, it's really great to see. And the fact that scholarships are becoming available, I mean, that just blows my mind. When I was in high school, that's just something that was unheard of. You did not get a scholarship for playing Quake 3 Arena or Unreal Tournament when I was in high school, unfortunately. And I really wish I could have, because I think I could have made it. I could have been one of the greats, Rod. I'm telling you.
I believe it, man. I've seen the skill here at the Stimulus Games. I've watched the Quake events. I've seen it. You guys are very good, but I'm telling you, man, it's never too late to get that jersey. You have to talk to boss, man. Start the Shacknews Esports. I put some money on the Quake team here, man, or the Halo team.
Absolutely, no. We are no slouches, but yeah, I'm just saying, like, if getting a scholarship was for, you know, playing an esport, a professional, you know, a game at a competitive level, like that could have been a thing. Even for Smash Melee, you know, when I was in high school, that just would have blown my mind. Would have completely blown my mind. And that would have been something that I would have probably have aspired to. You know, I would have really tried to put in the work and the practice to make sure that I was good enough to get that scholarship, as well as having the grades to support it. Yeah, that just is a great opportunity for kids. And yeah, I think this is a great article. And yeah, thanks for bringing this to our attention.
Always, man. You know I'm here for the educational stories, man. That's my shit.
Absolutely. You gotta love it. I think that's gonna do it, however, for our esports talk of the day. But that means we're gonna get into the other talk, the talk that we always do, the sauce talk. So let's get into it real quick. We got a little bit of time left. So we have 3 topics to hit on real quick for Sauce Talk this week. And our first one is about Heinz. Yes, Heinz, the sauce company. They make sauce. They make all kinds of sauces. They do.
Yes, sir.
They are launching a competition. Whoa, hold up. Surfer Boy Sam, 20 months in a row. Thank you so much for the Prime subscription. Doing it for Shacknews. If you are watching this right now, be like Surfer Boy and subscribe to Shacknews Twitch. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. But yes, Heinz is offering $25,000 and more. There's other prizes. Okay. For your best burger creation, they want you to just come up with your craziest burger, whatever work of art you could possibly think of, using one of several artistic themes: classical, maximal, minimal, sculptural, or experimental. And then you can post your burger creation at their website or on Twitter and Instagram using hashtags. The competition's running now through July 12th. I guess it's in the winning burger is going to be featured at BurgerFi in this in the fall of 2022. So whatever crazy burger actually wins this thing is going to end up getting made for people to eat. Yeah, do you have a burger you think that could win $25,000, Rod?
Dude, not that I've made, but there are some burgers that I have had that and before I say this, of course, Nebraska versus like places like Seattle or California or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, we're going to pale in comparison, but I do think that when it comes to talking about a good burger, no matter where you're from, you can't deny its goodness. And I got a burger that I really like at this place called Night Owl. Very, very good burger. I don't exactly know why it's good or why it tastes so damn good and why the other burgers I've had don't, but I would definitely put their burger in the running. Or honestly, man, if I were to make one, first and foremost, I like pretzel bread. Love pretzel bread burgers. I know we don't really talk about Burger King, but they had a pretzel bread burger a couple years ago, and I they had me in a chokehold, man. Like that was my favorite thing. Um, I like Chipotle ranch. I like aioli. I like egg on my burger. I like all types of weird shit. But I mean, for something like this, you really have to think outside the box, aesthetically and creatively. And dude, I mean, is it time to come up with the? Well, we already got Shake Shack, and they have the Shack burgers. Is it time to come up with the something burger
The
though?
Shacknews burger. I
The
mean,
Shacknews burger.
we could. Surfer Boy saying egg and beetroot on his burger. That would be king. I'd go for
Okay.
it. I'd try it. I don't know if I have a burger that would possibly win this, but as far as which category I would be more inclined to want to try, I think I would probably want to try whatever won the experimental category for sure. And maybe like the minimalist and maximalist. Like the sculptural one, I don't know, because like it's going to be like this giant tower that you could never really eat anyways, right? Like it's just going to be something that is going to fall apart if you try to eat it. Whatever ends up winning the sculptural category. But the other ones seem fine. I feel like the minimalist one, like that's got to be because like to win a minimalist burger, you really have to know what you're doing. I feel like you can't create a minimalist burger just on paper. You know what I mean? Like you can't just say, oh, well, it has these 4 ingredients and only these 4 ingredients and trust me, it's going to be good. No, you have to prove that you can cook those few ingredients to such a high quality that that burger itself is just incredible. Because that's the thing about simple food. Simple food that only has very few ingredients is very hard to do because each one has to be perfect. You know what I mean? Agreed. Whereas if it has, if it has a ton of different things, if it's more like the maximalist or the experimental, you know, everything is, it's all this giant creation that needs to go together in every little spot. Yeah, there's no hiding with few ingredients. I don't know. What do you think? Which category would you be more inclined to want to try?
Maybe the minimalist. You know, most of the best burgers I've had have always been like a less is more type of thing. I mean, I do like getting messy. You know, I think most burgers that you're going to have in most of these like new spots that pop up are going to give you like the biggest and craziest creation ever. And by the time you get to those final bites, you got to eat it with the fork because it's just mush. But I do like, you know, less is more. I would probably lean into that, but you know, with less is more, I would have to make sure that these ingredients really stand out.
Exactly.
Obviously, I need a bun of some sort. I need some sort of cooked meat. I don't know how I would cook it, but it needs to be cooked the type of way. And then, of course, with that, I would have to make sure these ingredients really stand out. Taste, you know, wise, or also aesthetically too. Like it has to look good because it's this Heinz ketchup, the probably the most legendary ketchup on the planet. So yeah, I'm very inclined to try the minimalist thing, just to see if I have some of that cooking prowess in me. But I know I don't. But with less ingredients, I'm less inclined to fuck up. So
true. Yeah, I definitely, I don't think I'm going to submit anything to this. You know, it's cool. It's just cool to think about. I don't think I have a BurgerFi locally though to try the winning burger though. Do you? Would you be able to try one of these? Do you have a BurgerFi available where you are?
I want to say I do have a. You know what? Now you got me. I want to Google it, but Q's internet has not been good to me. But I want to say I do have a BurgerFi or I've been to one. But yeah, hell, if we don't have one in either places where I live, we definitely need to get on that because I think I've had it once or twice and I thought it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, we gotta get somebody to try this $25,000 burger. Now, if you don't win the $25,000, 50 runners up are gonna get bespoke Heinz Art of the Burger merch. So Rod, I mean, come on, you don't want to rock some Heinz swag? You're not trying to rock one of those ugly burgers on a t-shirt?
Well, I have definitely pulled some very strange things off. So maybe I mean, I would be very upset if I didn't win the $25,000 and I just got a hat and a pair of underwear. But you know, as a man,
Think it could be a pair of underwear? You think they're giving out Heinz underwear?
They might be. As a man, I mean, I could
You
use
never
more
know.
shirts and underwear and hats. So fuck it, bring it on.
It's funny. All right, let's move on to our next Sauce Talk story before we just kill this one. I feel like it's dead already. Yeah, we got more to talk about with Sauce Talk, and this next story is Taco Bell. So we talk about Taco Bell quite a bit here on Sauce Talk because they're always doing something. They're always trying something new, coming out with a musical featuring Dolly Parton. But no, this is a new menu item, and it looks like Taco Bell is getting in the biscuit game. Taco Bell is testing new grilled cheese biscuits, which just looks, it's just a sausage biscuit with cheese on the outside rather than next to the sausage, in between, you know, the sausage and the biscuit, like how every other place does it. So it's just on the outside. Now, this is only being tested in Knoxville, Tennessee, of all places. But Rod, do you think Taco Bell has what it takes to make biscuits on point?
You know, I have tried most of the things that Taco Bell has done these last so many years. I think most recently they just come out with the Mexican pizza. There was another article too that I wanted to link about how they're trying to bring back the cheesy, crunchy chalupa, but I was like, we kind of already covered something like that before, but they're bringing that back. And then they tried wings at the Cantina, which I'm still not convinced.
I ate those Taco Bell wings. I ate those.
I did too.
And they weren't too bad.
Yeah, they were pretty okay. You know, most people's like crutch meal or like that one meal that you know you should eat is probably McDonald's. Mine is definitely Taco Bell. I eat it maybe probably 5 times a year, and I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, when you really like break it all down to like what Taco Bell is, I probably shouldn't be eating the shit.
You remember those 5 times a year, though?
I definitely do, because a steak quesadilla until they bring back the beefy crunch burrito, that's my go-to. So, but yeah, I think I like this a lot. I'm really big on bread. I know I talked about the pretzel burger, that idea, and hopefully, if I ever threw my hat into the ring with creating a burger, that's the type of bread it would have. So I'm really big on bread more than anything. Doing the grilled cheese thing sounds cool. I think grilled cheese, of course, if done right, can be very good. If done incorrectly, it could be fucking terrible. But luckily enough, it's just like on a biscuit and not like on some of their more staple items, like a grilled cheese burrito or something crazy. So I'm going to give this a go if it becomes a thing. As it stands right now, it's still in Tennessee. But if it travels to states,
yeah, if it makes it nationwide,
you might see an Instagram post from me with that thing in my mouth.
So yeah, it looks like it's going to be available as just the biscuit with the cheese on top, a 3 cheese blend, mind you.
Hey.
Or with the sausage patty, for $1.99 or $2.49 if you include the sausage patty. I don't know, like I don't know if Taco Bell has what it takes to make a good biscuit, you know? It's just going to be a frozen biscuit that's heated up in a microwave and then put into an oven. I guarantee you that. But if Taco Bell can't do biscuits, where do you get, who's got the best biscuits?
Oh, I mean, dude, and we're just talking like biscuit, like it doesn't have to be like a breakfast sandwich or whatever.
No, just the biscuit. Who's got the best biscuit?
Oh, dude, man. Oh, God, McDonald's breakfast has some really fucking good biscuits.
You think McDonald's biscuits are decent? I mean, I don't hate them.
King's biscuits are good too for breakfast. I'm talking breakfast too.
Yeah.
Wendy's, you know, their breakfast sandwiches, those biscuits, all of that, Brian, it's pretty fucking good. It's a tough race.
I feel like you have to go to a fried chicken place to get a good biscuit. Am I wrong?
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I feel like you have to go to a Popeyes or at least bare minimum like a Carl's Jr. or Hardee's. I think they make their biscuits from scratch. I'm not sure. McDonald's biscuits have this like weird point when they're really good. When they come right out of the oven, they're actually like hard as a rock, just straight out of the oven. They actually have to sit for a little bit to soften up. And then once they hit that soft point, they're perfect. You're right. They are pretty damn good. But then they only have so long before they start to harden and they get hard again. And once that happens, it's over for the McDonald's biscuit. It's done. And I feel like most fast food places are kind of like that for their biscuits. They have like this sweet spot where they're just incredible. And it probably doesn't really matter where you get it from, because they're all pretty much the same frozen biscuit at most of these fast food places. I don't know. Taco Bell is just getting farther and farther away from what makes Taco Bell, right? None of this to me says Taco Bell. Not even the melted cheese part, which they're trying to pass off as the Taco Bell influence. This doesn't say Taco Bell to me at all. It doesn't say it. This you could have shown me this picture and said, "Oh yeah, look what they're testing at Burger King or Hardee's," and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, okay."
Yeah, this just kind of falls in line with like all these innovative, ideas and things that Taco Bell's bringing to the table. Hopefully, Bryan, when we do another, I know every so often we'll do like a top 10 Watch Mojo food thing, whether it's a list or a video. We'll see which one this one falls onto on episode 300 of Wide World. If it's going to fall into the good concoctions or the bad concoctions, and we'll both be there as old men, like, oh, we covered that. Remember, it was we were there.
Absolutely. All right, let's move in to our last topic for Sauce Talk, and this one is kind of nuts just because who would have thought you'd be getting Wagyu beef at an Arby's? I didn't think it. Arby's is going to start offering a Wagyu steakhouse burger for $5.99, like really soon, like Monday. Through July 31st. So it's not going to be forever, just for a couple of months. Now, this is not 100% Wagyu beef, of course. There's no way. Right. But it is a big-ass burger. 6.4 ounces, which puts it healthily above a quarter of a pound. And then it's 52% American Wagyu, 48% ground beef. So it's literally just 2% more of the more expensive beef than it is the lower quality. And they say that they're cooking it sous vide style, which, shit, I don't know. It's got to be, I don't know if they're not cooking it to order each one sous vide. There's no way. It's got to be like par cooked sous vide and then shipped, I guess, like that. And then they gotta probably they just open them up and put them on the grill to finish them, I'm sure. But yeah, it's definitely bigger than a quarter pounder, because a quarter pounder is 4 ounces frozen. Or no, I'm sorry, not frozen, it's fresh. The quarter pounder is 4 ounces fresh, but that's still pre-cooked weight. And then most other places is 4 ounces frozen, which is also pre-cooked weight. 6.4 ounces is a big ass burger. I want to try this. You gonna try this one?
I'm definitely gonna try it, man. And I think what kills me about this is the quote too. From the chief marketing officer says, instead of focusing on making billions of mediocre burgers, we're taking a stance on high quality meat that deserves to be cooked properly. Now, I've never worked in the kitchen before, let alone a fast food kitchen. I know there's everything kind of varies from kitchen to kitchen. The idea that's tossed around of things being done and cooked properly is thrown around sometimes a little loosely. I do think that Arby's, takes a little bit more pride in their meat, because that's their thing, like sandwiches.
Dude, that meat's not even meat. The roast beef.
I was gonna say, is it even really?
It's like a slime that gets turned into meat through some sort of some sort of magical, some sort of dark magics that they do there in the kitchen of Arby's, and they turn that pink slime into meat. I don't know how they do it, but yes, it doesn't look. It sure doesn't look like beef when it starts out.
Yeah, definitely not, man. I'm going to give it a try. Why the fuck not? If nothing else, I can hate myself for 24 hours, get hungry again, and go eat what I really wanted to eat. But I think this definitely caught my eye. This is not necessarily out of left field for Arby's, but it's like trying something a little different here. Wagyu beef. I didn't expect this from you, but if it were to come from any of the fast food chains, I would expect it to come from you. Yeah. Focusing more particularly on quality meat.
Yeah, this is the first burger that Arby's has added to its menu. Right. don't do burgers. They do, obviously they're known for roast beef sandwiches. Then they have their like fresh market sandwiches. You know, you can get like a turkey sandwich, you know, just like a cold cut turkey, but it's big. They're pretty large. And then they do I think they do gyros now, and they've been doing those for a while. How do you say gyro, by the way? Do you say gyro?
No, I don't say gyro. I say gyro.
Okay, all right. Just wondering. It's like a local thing, right? Like different regions have like a different way they say it. But anyways, they do gyros. They do you know, they do like fried chicken sandwiches or like chicken tenders and stuff like that. But yeah, they've never really done burgers. So for them to come out with a burger and then to come out with a Wagyu beef burger as their first burger, they're definitely trying to show off a little bit, right? They're trying to be like, oh yeah, we are so much better than everybody else because we have a 52% Wagyu beef. And they're putting some actual red onion slices on there too, not just the regular white onion that you get everywhere else. So you get the red onion. It looks like you got some sauce. Now, I don't think it will ever look like that picture though, Rod. Like that picture obviously is a very well-crafted food advertisement burger, but you know it isn't going to look like that.
No, hell no, it's not going to look like that. That burger there is probably not even a burger. It's probably like a hockey puck wrapped in like fake burger meat, and then the bread is like, I don't know, blown up in a damn tank or something. And the spray painted.
It's all sprayed with hairspray to make it stay in exactly that spot and everything. Yeah. No, you definitely don't want to eat that. But no, obviously, I feel like if the burger you got, if your Wagyu Steakhouse burger looked half as good as that burger when you get it from Arby's, I feel like you got to win there.
Oh yeah, I mean this burger looks crazy, and I'm gonna be real, Brian. If they start doing these burgers and shit right, it might be these other restaurant chains might be in some trouble.
Yeah, I might have to wait in line at an Arby's. I mean, there's an Arby's literally across the street from where I work, so it's not difficult for me to go try it. So yeah, I think I feel like I'm gonna have to do it for Sauce Talk in the interest of reporting back for science. We will do it. I will get one and I will report back as to how good it is. Maybe I could even I could taste test it right here on stream. We can do one of those live reviews. I'll keep my sound off though. I don't want people to hear. I'm not into like that whole ASMR thing. No, that's gross.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's gross.
That's weird. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. All right, I think that's gonna do it for Sauce Talk though. That is enough of Sauce Talk for the day. Yeah, foul. Surfer Boy, it absolutely would be. But yeah, with Sauce Talk over, we have to talk a little bit about the competition that we have over at Shacknews every single week. It's actually every single day because the competition never stops over at Shacknews. It's always going. It's always running. You can always compete for glory over at Shacknews, and that's with Shacknews Cortex. As I was mentioning earlier, Shacknews Cortex is our own user-generated content platform that you can use to talk about anything, write about anything, post about anything, make it look all nice and spiffy. Right. But it is also a way that we have gamified Shacknews by adding a point value to pretty much anything you can do at the website. So not just for using Cortex, but I mean just reading articles or posting comments in the chatty or posting comments to front page articles, using Shacknews Reader, using Shacknews Cortex as well, using Shack Pets, all of that stuff. If you are logged into your Shacknews account, will accumulate points that we total up every single day and every single week. And we like to talk about whoever won the Carnage Report for the week. And of course, you know who it is already. Do I even have to say? It's 8 Mikey. 8 Mikey with a big 282,000 points, taking the win over Winged Hussar, our own Morgan Shaver. They had 181,000, so 100,000 point difference this week. That's a pretty big gap there in the point margin. But our own Blake Morris was there in number 3, of course. Man with the briefcase sitting pretty at number 6. He's not even trying. He's not even trying. That's just Lola. This is Lola doing her work on Shack Pets, getting those points. But yeah, 8 Mikey had that Saturday Zerg rush, making sure he got over the hump and that 100,000 point victory. But yeah, all the people on the list here, congratulations to all of them. And look, I just got 5 points for reading this article. You can't see the pop-up here on stream, but I see it. By scrolling down and reading that article, I just got 5 points. That's how easy it is. But yes, congratulations to everybody here on the list. We have our usual staffers. We have our new users. We have some old-time users, M. Rosino, Mason, and then, of course, G. Burke, Greg Burkleton Burke there at 12. So, Greg Burkleton Burke, you did not hit anywhere near the threshold that Lola hit, which I guess objectively means that Lola is cuter, excuse me, than Greg's Ragdoll Cats because they didn't get as many points.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be real,
they didn't get the points, Rod.
They didn't get the points, and look, I've never been. I'm just not a dog guy. I'm gonna start there. But Lola, very, very cute. Like if I were to get a dog, like it has to be little, has to be cute, has to be fluffy, and it has to be reminiscent of a cat. Ragdoll cats though, very fucking cute, very, very cute. But you know what though? The game, the stats, the ball, it don't lie.
The points don't lie.
They don't.
Absolutely not.
What are you gonna do?
That's right. What are you gonna do? So, if you want to get involved with Shacknews Cortex, if you want to be on the leaderboard, if you want to be, oh man, Azim is not happy over that assessment with your defense of Greg's cats. Lola she is the chair pet of the board. She is the cutest pet of Shack Pets.
She signs our check. She signs the. I get it. She's very cute. I cannot deny it. I had to come around to dogs. I've had a lot of bad experiences with dogs as a kid, and I was like, they're loud, they're annoying. But then like I started to see like little ones like corgis, like Pomeranians, even like wiener. I like the wiener dogs too. I like those. Those are cute. Like little dogs, I can handle those.
You can't walk it back, Rod. Dogs, we all heard what you said.
Yeah, I can't do big dogs, man. Lola's cute.
Lola's a tiny dog. She is not a big dog. She is a tiny. She's cute. She's a tiny little dog, but she has big ideas and big plans. So don't count her out just based on her physical size. But yeah, that is the Cortex Carnage report for the week. Make sure you are hitting up shacknews.com every day to see the latest and greatest in gaming and technology news. Accumulate your points. Use Shack Pets every day. Accumulate those points, and if you do, I guarantee you will be on this list. No problem. Like it's that easy. It's that easy. It really is.
It's serious. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3, friends. All you got to do is just play.
Just play.
Swipe. Look at some pictures of some cute animals. There's so many better things to do than stay on the internet and talk about Elon Musk, fucking monkeypox, or whatever the hell else. The world is falling apart, okay? But you know what, though? If the world is falling apart, I want to spend these final days looking at cute animals, okay? I feel like if I look at a picture of Elon Musk when I die, God might try to use it against me at the gates. So I want to make sure I look at something cute. Should be very simple.
Absolutely. Well said. I think that's going to do it, though. I think that is going to be our show, our Wide World of Electronic Sports, episode 133. Thank you so much for sticking with us throughout this episode, everybody. Very much appreciated. I really appreciate all of your patience throughout our technical difficulties. Yes, it was me running the show today, not something I usually do. You got to see the Google Doc a couple times, so that's exciting. And of course, Rodney transmitting from Cuba also has not helped anything. It's been a little glitchy, but we made it, Rod. We got here. We did it. That is a show done and in the bag. Very much appreciated. So yes, thank you to our viewers. If you're not following, make sure you follow the channel. Hit that little heart button. If you want to hit the little bell button, that would be awesome too. That way you can get notified whenever we go live. And we're going live like almost every single day. We even have special streams that only happen once every few weeks, like Retail Therapy or Pop Goes the Culture Movie Nights, which is happening this week, I believe. There's a Pop Goes the Culture Movie Night happening later this week. So if you want to know when that happens, like those special streams, make sure you get notified. Make sure you fill in that notification icon, and that way you'll get a quick notification and you'll be able to pop into those streams. Hey, Rodney, Cuba loves you. Thank you so much, A-Shocks, for the awesome message. Thank you for your love. Very much appreciated. And yes, but yeah, make sure you're followed here on the channel. If you are in the position to subscribe and support the channel, please do so. We greatly appreciate it. If you have an Amazon Prime account, like we were saying earlier, you can just link that to your Twitch account, get a Prime Gaming sub. Maybe we weren't saying this earlier because I think this is the first time I mentioned it. But yeah, get that Prime Gaming sub going, and it's free. You don't even have to pay for that. You've already paid for Amazon Prime, and they're just going to give you a free sub to use every single month at your discretion. Why don't you discretion that sub our way, and that way you can help us out. You can do it for Shacknews at the same time. You can get all those great emotes like the Donovan Erskine emote and all that stuff. But yes, make sure you head over to YouTube, check out our YouTube channel, Shacknews Games Gamer Club videos. If you missed the show today, you can check out the VOD there later on when it gets uploaded, as well as all of our other VODs and all of our excellent YouTube programming. Head over to shacknews.com. That is where we have our mother site. That's where we upload all of our written content. All of the stuff that is fit to print is over there in gaming and technology news. You can check it out. You can support us with Shacknews Mercury, our very affordable subscription service, $1 a month. Simple as that. And of course, you can also go to our socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, We are at Shacknews on Twitter and Facebook, Shacknews Media on Instagram. Rodney, tell Cuba you love him.
I love you, Cuba. You guys are great to me. Literally since the moment I land. I mean, it started, of course, with Giovanni, who helped bring me over here, and then the TO team, the community, everybody. You know, it's just one of those experiences you're definitely going to look back on when you're old and gray and you're on your deathbed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm definitely going to think back to, wow, I really went to Cuba in my 20s and met some really awesome people. So big thank you. Hopefully we can do it again next year. We can do it bigger. We did have 70 entrants. Maybe we can double it, you know, triple it. Who knows? And maybe we can all go out and do something together. I know the community is very spread apart, but maybe at the next we can all do one big dinner and eat some food, because if you don't know, I might not look it from my physique, but I like to eat, you know, so.
We all love to eat, and that's why we do Sauce Talk at the end of every show. But yes, thank you for those kind words. Rodney, it was so awesome having you on location for this show. Not often that we get to do these kinds of things, but it was really great that we were able to get it done. Thank you so much for your help on the show today. As always, of course, I couldn't do it without you. Rodney Conyers Jr., appreciate it. I'm Bryan Lefler, your host for Wide World of Electronic Sports, and speaking for DennyVonDoom, he also loves you all as well. I'm sure he'll be back soon, so miss you, Denny. We'll have you back. And yeah, until next time, everybody, check us out next week for episode 134. But we are out of here for now. Steve Tendo is up next. Make sure you check him out. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you later.